The morning sun is quiet and elegant, calming the noisy atmosphere. Konoha village is starting to wake up, but the vibe of the village feels calm and relaxing. In the Yuchen mansion, Uzumaki Kaoru has left on the pretext of helping Uzumaki Mikuna clean the yard. Azuki Shion greeted Yamanaka Ino, and they left together to find Akamichi Choji and Nara Shikahisa for today's mission. Kurenai Kazuya greets Hyuga Hinata, and they leave together to find Inazuka Kiba and Aburame Shino, and carry out today's mission. Tianqian bid farewell, and said that he would not be able to come here for a long time, because he had to go out to perform missions under the leadership of Might Guy. Kurama Yakumo was dragged by Uchiha Makoto and Uzumaki Kushina to go shopping, feeling the breath of sleepy leaves and fireworks. In the huge mansion, only Yuchen and Mitarashi Anko were left. The latter was rarely noisy and cheerful, but showed the shyness unique to his daughter's family. Just play with snakes early in the morning. Let's do something interesting first. Zhao Yuchen put his arms around Anko's waist and pinched her nose. Interesting thing, what is it? Anko asked blankly, feeling disappointed but also fortunate. She longs to be Yuchen's woman, but also wants to be respected and valued. Women are always so tangled and contradictory at this time. How about going on a date? Yuchen chuckled lightly. Dating? Anko's eyes lit up. She fantasizes about it, but never desires Yuchen to give her an exclusive date. To be honest, seeing so many excellent women around Yuchen, she was not as confident as usual. Compared with their backgrounds, there are Hinata, Tsunade, and Kushina, all of whom are from the richest families in the ninja world. In terms of strength, not to mention Tsunade and Terumi Mei, even Yui Hong and Azuki Shion are stronger than her. Compared with the background, there used to be one of Sanin's masters, but now it has become a hindrance. Compared with appearance and figure, Terumi Mei, Samui, Tsunade and Hinata grew up, and they are all better than her. People say that always has an advantage, but she is not outstanding in any aspect, and it is very mediocre when combined. Even, she had given Yuchen a bad first impression before. Now, instead of disrespecting her, Yuchen wants to date her. Anko. Sisters, I really love this man. Yakumo, isn't this my line? Terumi Mei. I still think it's my lines. Fragrant phosphorus. You must be inferior to me, but what happened to make sister Anko lose her composure? Anko. Date. I was excited and asked Yuchen directly if he wanted to play with me, but he didn't despise me, and he still wanted to date me. Female. Got it, this is showing off. Dating? Uyue Shion's eyes flickered slightly, and she murmured. I don't specialize, but if other women have it, I have to have it too. The smelly man seems to owe me a movie. Yui Hong thought a little angrily. It seems that Mr. Yuchen hasn't dated us yet. Kushina asked Makoto. Don't take me. The corners of Makoto's mouth curled slightly, showing a smug smile. Makoto. Not only did I go on a date with Yuchen, but I was also on the moon. The experience is like that. Female. Versailles, this is Versailles naked. I'm so envious, I also want to have an exclusive date. Kushina rushed towards Makoto directly. You're going on a date, what do you want me to do? Let me see where you are ahead of me. Hey, don't touch it indiscriminately, where is the student area? Che. Whoever you say is different, makes you proud. The two got into a fight. Kurama Yakumo means invisible. By wooden golem. Where do you go on a date? The cat stares curiously. All the girls couldn't help showing the eyes of 8 trigrams. Once they know the location, they can go and break it. Encounter by chance. Mr. Yuchen, where are we going on a date? Anko hugged Yuchen's waist with his backhand. I want to be a snake for Yuchen to play with, so what's the point? Maybe my agility and active enthusiasm can surpass others? A place that you will definitely be interested in, and where you can get your revenge. Zhao Yuchen smiled slightly, set up a shadow clone at home just in case, and then cast Flying Thunder God technique. The next moment, the two appeared at the Hokage Rock, and then they appeared at the center of a rocky place dozens of miles to the north. The surrounding environment changed rapidly. Anko felt dizzy and instinctively closed his eyes. About a quarter of an hour later, Zhao Yuchen said, Here we are. Anko opened his eyes curiously, and found that he was just in an ordinary forest. If there is something that attracts her more, it should be a pure wooden puppet in front of her that looks like a cat, but is much more powerful. Although it is a dead thing, it gives people a sense of oppression that does not belong to a real beast. Could it be, this is a gift Yuchen wants to give himself? Anko. Sisters, look, this should be a surprise gift from Yuchen. Photo. Yui Hong. Are you still showing off? It's my turn tomorrow. Maoyue Shion. Regret, if I knew earlier, I would be today. but I don't have to be afraid of being late for a good meal, and it's the same the day after tomorrow. Kushina. Why? Why? Why don't Makoto and I have exclusive gifts, and we don't have a good date? Makoto. Don't take me with you, my new body is a gift from Yuchen, and the trip to the moon is the only one. Yamanaka Ino. Damn it, why haven't I grown up yet? I'm really dying of drought, and dying of waterlogging. Hinata. Actually, except for the last step, other things can be done now, right? Say, are you possessed by Uzumaki Kafos? This goddamn group chat is killing us innocent little Hinata. Karama Yakumo. Let me declare first that I am not jealous, and it is impossible for me to be jealous of a woman who has never been favored by her husband. Good plan, the topic is getting hotter and more aggressive. Yakumo. But let me say this again, this should not be a gift from your husband. Anko. You still say that this is not jealousy. Facts are better than bare arguments. Sam Yi. When it comes to Shang Bian, I advise everyone to calm down. Tsunade. In front of Lord 5th Hokage, you are all ants. Shizune. Master Tsunade, don't be distracted, Master 2nd generation will be angry again later. Tsunade. Damn. Why the second grandpa refused to reset, but instead vigorously cultivated me, this is completely different from what I thought. Shizune. I know a little bit about this. It seems that Mr. Yuchen told Master 2nd generation about the idea of a scientific research bureau and secret research bureau. Master 2nd generation plans to serve as the director of one of the bureaus after his resurrection. Tsunade. Really, why does this guy have so many weird things in his mind? Terumi Mei. Be content, I haven't done it yet in Zhongyan village. Karama Yakumo. Excuse me, can you guys stop talking in a crooked way? Let me explain, this big guy who looks like a cat is named Tiger. Yuchen calls it a white tiger mechanism beast, and its nature is similar to vermilion bird mechanism. They are the same as beasts, but they are mainly responsible for walking on mountains, and they can explore and fight. Tien. I saw it as a weapon, it turned out to be a new mechanism beast, so handsome, I want it. Shanglin. It's not easy to want, brother Yuchen, can you not give it to you, not satisfy you? Good guy, is it because Shanglin has evolved, or their thoughts have become dirty? It sounds a bit unreasonable to say this. Yakumo. Tianshin. You open the seal scroll that your husband gave you before you left just now and take a look. Ah. At the gate of Konoha village, I was waiting for Hyuga Neji with Xiao Li Might Guy, who was going to carry out a mission to clear up bandits. After Zhao Yuchen heard that she was going out to perform a mission, he gave him a flying thunder god kunai, saying that he could inject chakra into it for contact. But when she handed several scrolls to Yuchen, Yuchen also gave her a scroll, which she hadn't opened yet. Is it also a white tiger mechanism beast? Tianshin's eyes lit up, and he opened the scroll, only to find that there were 4 words written on it, namely, Azure Dragon, Vermilion Bird, White Tiger, and Xuanwu. All 3 have already been put in. Unexpectedly, there are 3 kinds of mechanism beasts. Tianshin had a bright smile on his face. At this moment, she suddenly understood the feelings of Hinata and Ino. This man is really gentle and considerate, keeping you warm anytime. How can any normal woman be indifferent to him? Even homosexuals are compatible. Tien. Brother Yuchen is awesome. I have decided, I will marry him when I grow up. Who can refuse a man who can satisfy me in arms? Photo. Samui, 3? There is another kind of Xuanwu. Yakumo. My husband said that the full names of these 4 things are Mohist mechanism beasts, and they are of the 4 spirit beasts level. Among them, Vermilion Bird can use air currents to soar in the sky, Giant Vermilion Bird can carry people, and Miniature Vermilion Bird can transmit messages, have no attack ability, but after adding the chakra control system, it can be improved in the future. Yakumo. White Tiger advocates killing, Genin is strong enough to kill randomly, Chunin can also wreak havoc, Jonin depends on the situation, it is mainly used on dangerous land, while Xuanwu is similar to White Tiger, but the applicable environment is where there is water, and when I am fully after recovery, it can be mass-produced. Yakumo. There are these 2 kinds of mechanism beasts, plus the support of Vermilion Bird mechanism beast in the sky, whether it is Iwagakure in Cloud Shinobi village with many rocks, or Sanagakure in the sand, it is said to be easy to defend and difficult to attack, and it is uniquely able to close the country. Kirigakure can be easily scored. Yakumo. These things can not only be used for war, but also for resource development, exploration and transportation. It is simply a weapon in many aspects of war and life. Yakumo. It is very difficult to make this thing, but the painting is just a trivial matter. Terumi Mei. Tears flowed from the corners of her mouth. Samui. Am I envious? I don't envy, I'm jealous. By Wooden Golem. This white tiger is so handsome. Why is Matabi not a tiger demon? Cats don't know group chat, but cats feel malicious. Black soil. It's over. Iwagakure is even more powerless to resist. Tamari. I already have a premonition that my hidden village will be ruined. Samui. Then, do you want to break the net? Tsunade. First of all, the shadows in your village may not be obedient, and secondly, there is no warning from Tensigan. My great-grandpa and grandpa warned. Squinting smile. Terumi Mei. Very good, let's put it badly. Where is this organ beast? This is clearly a sharp weapon to disintegrate their hidden villages. Still a blatant conspiracy. Sure enough, in the end, we have to get Yuchen. Anko. I don't care about these things, so I'm being self-indulgent now? Yui Hong. You can't say that you are passionate, you can only say that you think too much. Tien. That's right, otherwise, what should I think? Squinting smile. At the gate of Konoha, Tiantian did not release the white tiger mechanism beast, and the more curious Xuanwu mechanism beast, but injected chakra into the seal spell of Vermilion Bird. Boom. With a puff of smoke rising, the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast appeared at the gate. The majestic and huge appearance immediately attracted the attention of pedestrians and caravans. What is this thing? A big wooden bird, probably a puppet art. I think it might be Konoha's latest invention. TCH, you don't even know this thing is Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast. Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast. Yes, this is a tool invented by our Hokage assistant, Master Yuchen, which can be loaded with flying and other functions. The ninja gatekeeper ninja who is in charge of enthroning the gate said proudly. Hearing this, the heads of the caravans and pedestrians suddenly became more and more enthusiastic. Nowadays, who doesn't know that Yuchen is an upstart in Konoha village? Not only is he highly valued by the two Hokages, he is entrusted with important tasks, and various policies have greatly improved people's livelihood. I also heard that Yuchen was in charge of receiving the envoys of Sanagakure, Cloud Shinobi Village, Iwagakure and Kirigakure. These envoys spoke highly of them, and the alliance was soon completed, and the Chunin examination of the highest standard will be announced to the whole ninja world. In terms of strength, I heard that Yuchen has been misunderstood as genin, but in fact he is just a strong man who is not obvious, and his real strength is enough to be recognized by Hyuga Hiyashi and other wealthy patriarchs. In short, Yuchen is definitely a man of the day in Konoha, and even in the ninja world. His every move has been followed, admired and studied. It took out the so-called Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast, which must have a deep meaning. A mechanism beast researched by Yuchen. The curtain of a carriage was lifted, revealing a face that is so overwhelming that it can attract cheers from countless people. It's because she is currently the most popular movie star in the whole ninja world, Fuji Fuyuki. At the same time, she also has a little-known identity. She is the only daughter of the former daimyo of Snow Country, Fenghua Xiaoshui. When her eyes fell on the Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast, Fenghua Xiaoshui's eyes showed a strong curiosity. Some were for the mechanism beast itself, and some were for the person who invented this mechanism beast. For these concerns, the person involved didn't care about it every day, but jumped to the Vermilion Bird Organ Beast to study it. There is a piece of paper on the seat of Vermilion Bird's mechanism beast, which is the instructions for using the mechanism beast. It's so sweet. Tien smiled energetically. At this time, a voice sounded behind him. This is the Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast invented by the teacher. Neji. You're here. Well, why do you have the Vermilion Mechanism Beast? You know? I am teacher Yuchen's apprentice, of course I know. Hyuga Neji looked serious. According to the presentation, he always listened to the big mouth of Uzumaki Naruto. And Uzumaki Naruto will know because Kakashi took him to see that day. Brother Yuchen gave it to me. Tien grinned and revealed a mouthful of white fang. Hearing this, Hyuga Neji instantly became sour. As a lover, why can't I have this Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast? Can you let me control it? Neji controlled his mood and said, cooperate with rolling eyes, it should be better to control. Okay, you can do it. Tiantian agreed without thinking. In their team, the three are good at physical skills, she is good at weapons, and the amount of chakra is not much. We can't let Might Guy and Xiao Li drive 8 inner gates to control the flying of mechanical beasts, right? As for her, according to Yuchen, there is also a way to control the flight with weapons, but it takes time to practice, and it is not suitable for the time being. On the contrary, Hyuga Neji, as a Hyuga family, has a lot of chakra. Thank you. Hyuga Neji expressed his thanks somewhat unnaturally. You're welcome, little apprentice. Tiantian Thief smiled. Hyuga Neji frowned again, always feeling that Tien's name had a deep meaning. But he didn't think too much, because now his attention was on the vermilion bird mechanism beast. Mr. Guy, Xiao Li, come up quickly, let's go. Tianqian waved to the two men in green clothes below. Do you want to take the vermilion bird mechanism beast for this mission? Might Guy looked around and touched like a curious baby. Youth. Just to fly once. Yes, Mr. Guy. That's right. Brother Yuchen gave this to me, of course I have to use it. Tianqian nodded. Deliver. Might Guy and Xiao Li immediately picked up lemons. Anyone who is not a fool knows that the vermilion bird mechanism beast is not simple. Even if it is not a strategic weapon in the future, the cost and selling price will definitely not be cheap. Tian is a rich woman and they know that they have the financial resources and weapons to buy mechanism beasts, which is completely understandable. But they didn't expect that it was actually a gift from Yuchen to Tianqian. Gone. Neji follows the instructions and injects chakra into the control bit. Immediately, he felt that he could manipulate some parts of vermilion bird at will. Boom. The huge wings of the organ beast began to flap, the frequency gradually became faster, and it began to leave the ground. After flying into the air, you can use the airflow to glide, and you can save Carla properly. Change direction. Control tail fins. Injecting more chakra can speed up the frequency of wing flapping, speed or height. Neji gradually became proficient in the manipulation method. Soon, the medical beast disappeared over the forest at the entrance of Konoha village. Witnessing this scene with their own eyes, countless people immediately exclaimed, feeling that Konoha is worthy of being Konoha, and remembering Yuchen. Of course, there are also various spies and intelligence sellers who will write down the news, and it will spread out soon. At this time, under Yuchen's guidance, Anko controlled the white tiger mechanism beast and sneaked in an underground base with a small excited expression on his face. She wasn't upset because it wasn't a gift from Yuchen. It is already very happy to be able to hug Yuchen and ride the white tiger mechanism beast. Mr. Yuchen, where is this place? I don't believe you can't guess it. Zhao Yuchen said with a smile on his face. Orochimaru. That's right. Zhao Yuchen nodded and said, Orochimaru has many experimental bases all over the ninja world, but this base located in Tanokuni is his base camp. Just above this base, he also founded Yinin Village, whose overall ninja strength is only below the 5 hidden villages. I brought you here to let you witness that I received everything from Orochimaru, and let it disappear completely. Hearing this, Anko felt like eating honey in his heart. She understood what Yuchen meant, to help her reconcile with the past and forget it completely. No wonder it was said that this was a date exclusively for her, it was indeed a bit less interesting for others to come. You're so kind. Anko hugged Yuchen tightly. She feels that this life is worthwhile, and meeting Yuchen is her greatest luck and salvation. Zhao Yuchen reached out and stroked her hair. After about 5 minutes, the field of vision ahead began to open and brighten. Soon, Yuchen drove the white tiger mechanism beast to land on a circular platform. Anko blinked and found that there were thousands of ninjas gathered around her. With the acuity she had trained from the snake, she could be sure that 10 of them were strong enough to pose a threat to him. Untie. Yuchen made a seal with one hand. Boom. The shadow clone next to him dissipated, carrying memories and experiences. Soon, he learned about the largest base in Orochimaru and Cloud Shinobi Village. Including the 5 members of Yinin, there were 32 Jonin, 164 Chunin, 800 Genin, and thousands of common people. After his shadow clone arrived here, he had already wiped out all of Orochimaru's loyalists under the identification of the 5 Atonin and the incomplete 3 Tomo Sharingan. Others such as Wanyumaru, soon to become Orochimaru's body, stronger than Gurren, were coerced by the whole family to join Atonin village, and then easily defeated by Shadow Clone and offered some benefits to recruit. But faithfulness takes time to develop and test. Another example is the Fengma clan, which actively approached and invested in Orochimaru, and only needed to make a profit. The Fuma clan is not weak either. Pain's body is the master of the Fuma clan, and he once met Jiraiya. Of course, the reason why Zhao Yuchen has a deep memory of this family is a woman named Fengmo Sasama, or Fengmo Sheu, who has a baby face and is extremely cute. Mature women, wives and all kinds of royal sisters are prevalent in the ninja world. This kind of cute style is unique and unique. But now she has not joined Yinin village, so Zhao Yuchen did not see her. You all made very wise choices. Follow me, and you will stand on the top of the human world. Every day in the future, you will be grateful for today's decision, and more so. Zhao Yuchen sat on the white tiger mechanism beast and looked at everyone, holding the married man in his hands, full of pride. Although Shadow Clone has initially subdued these people, he still has something to say. Later, he asked Tayuya to lead the way to visit the base of Orochimaru, and at the same time clear some traces of Orochimaru. During the period, Tayuya also talked a lot about Orochimaru's past experiences, and Yuchen used his memory to compare. When everything was over, it was already evening. Zhao Yuchen and Anko had a special meal at Yan'an village and soaked in the hot springs together before returning to Konoha. Don't leave tonight. In Anko's home, Anko took the initiative to speak, with blurred and substantive admiration in his eyes. As a veteran, Zhao Yuchen naturally knew what was going on, nodded and said, "Okay." Next, there is the story of the warrior fighting against the incarnation of the snake girl. Separation line, nothing to say all night. The next morning, Yuchen woke up slowly. Looking at Anko who was sleeping soundly, he smiled and felt that he needed to justify his name as a woman. In the future, whoever wants to say that Anko's wife is a Puxin girl, I must beat him to death. Maybe her appearance and figure are not the most excellent, but the flexibility and tongue sensitivity of the snake-playing woman, I think no one can match. The most important point is to lie down all the time. Riding. Riding a riding mechanism beast. Upper position, the cap is on the upper position of the bottle mouth. With double summoning beast upper limit dance illusion dazzling. Dare to do this in the first battle, I must admire Anko. She is a true warrior, who dares to face up to the strong younger brother, dare to face up to the dripping blood. As long as I lie down, I can see her sweating efforts. Keep exercising like this, it will be difficult for Anko to gain weight in the future. Anko's special constitution can fight on the mechanism beast. Mechanism beast shakes. Moves. Zhao Yuchen praised Mitarashi Anko in his diary. Part of it is to applaud its behavior, and the other part is because of its spirit. To be honest, Kushina will perform the moves, and there will be this process. But he persisted throughout the whole process, adding up his past and present lives. Anko was the first one Yuchen saw. Ino. It's over, Hinata fainted. Hinata. Don't spread rumors, I won't faint now. Fragrant phosphorus. Sister Anko, a true warrior, I want to learn from you. Anko. Very tired, I still need to sleep, last night was too crazy, don't learn from me. Shi Yan. Mr. Yuchen writes so seriously, I actually have pictures, do you think there is still hope? Shizun. Sister Sanhong, you are hopeless. Black soil, 3 reds. Anko has red, red has red, where does the sunset come from? Shi Yan. Shi Yan, the color of the sunset red, is that what it means? Shizun. Ice fruit, by Wooden Golem. Do you know what it means? Just learn it. Samui. It means the answer is correct. Yui Hong. When I woke up in the morning, I saw such explosive news, which put a lot of pressure on me who was going on a date with Yuchen today. Tien. Sister Hong, don't show off that you can date brother Yuchen, I'm still working hard outside. Kushina. Yesterday, the whole Konoha spread. You guys rode the vermilion bird mechanism beast to go out to perform missions. I don't know how many mission teams you envy. Anyway, Naruto is already crazy. Makoto. Although Sasuke is pretending to be calm, I know he is also envious. Kushina. Leave it to Kakashi, I don't care. Tsunade. Yakumo, work harder, not to mention one for each person, at least one for each team. Yakumo. I thought about it, but someone delayed my recovery last night. Anko. I was wrong, I shouldn't be so crazy, it's because I really love this man to death. Huh. The girls felt goosebumps. Can you believe that Anko acted like a baby? But from this point of view, Yuchen's date is very serious. Red. I'm starting to look forward to it. Terumi Mei. Stop talking, there are tears of envy on the corner of my mouth. Samui. Thank you Wooden Golem. By Wooden Golem, you hard-eyed woman. Yi Kang. You guys chatted so happily all morning. Ino. Sister Hakura. How's your situation now? Yi Kang. Don't worry, everything will be fine in the future, just wait for Yuchen to come to rescue him 7 days later, it should be useless if he comes earlier. Hearing this, the police were immediately aroused curiosity. Especially Tsunade, she also felt that she could do a wave of guidance and let Zhao Yuchen go to the rescue in advance. Don't talk about emotions, just say that Konoha's dozen or so elites can be regarded as elite jonin, and they must be treated with caution. Tsunade. What's going on? Yakura. Mr. Jiraiya is back. Immortal art can restrain these ghost legions. He uses this to purify a piece of land. It is very easy for us to defend now. Tsunade. Jiraiya. By the way, this guy is still there. Listen to you, he left at first? Yakura. Well, just after we met Shion, Mr. Jiraiya was suddenly summoned, and according to what he said after he came back, he lost Mount Myoboku. Toad Sage had a task for him. Kaguya. Toad Sage? An inferior creature among shameless inferior creatures. Makoto. I remember Yuchen once said that Sage of Six Paths will team up with his younger brother to deal with you, because he was bewitched by Toad Sage Hamawan? Kaguya. Yes, Toad, White Snake and Katsuyu are pets cultivated by a cultivator in this world. This cultivator is very talented, but it is a pity that he entered the practice too late, and it is impossible to surrender to the concubine. In the end, it will be natural anonymous death. Kaguya. The stinky toad occupied the magpie's nest and the practitioner found the temple, and built Mount Myoboku, while the White Snake and Katsuyu returned to their original living places, and the concubine ignored it, who would have left such hidden dangers for himself. Kaguya. Black Zetsu will send messages to my concubine regularly. This stinky toad has done a lot of things for thousands of years. He has been trying to profit from human transformation and establish his own image. The immortal charm mentioned by Yuchen in his diary is, according to what I know, is owned by that practitioner. Back then, I controlled Yuchen and fought Yuya. Yuya beheaded Yuchen and opened Rinnegan, and then used this immortal talisman to revive Yuchen. Seeing these news, the girls suddenly understood why Yuchen didn't like Natu Toad. It turns out that the dove occupies the magpie's nest, but it shows the posture of a fairy, and guides human change and benefits from it. From the perspective of the 10,000 races, this is nothing, but from the perspective of their humans, being calculated will definitely be uncomfortable. Tsunade. Yi Kang, Jiraiya said again. What did the toad want him to do? Yi Kang. It is said that the future can no longer be seen clearly, and the child of destiny has also changed, and it is also given that outsiders will bring about changes in this world. If they are not guided, they will destroy the existing ninja system and make Ninja Village disappear. Results in history. Hearing this, all the girls frowned. Not because Jiraiya will die, but because of what Gamamaru said. Hinata. Outsider, I guessed right. This old toad is implying Yuchen big brother. Serious face. Terumi Mei. Yuchen's words will naturally set off a revolution in the ninja world. Without the old toad's prophecy, all of us can see this future, but what does the second half of the sentence mean? Samui. Destroying the existing system of ninjas and letting Ninja Village withdraw from the stage of history, does it imply that Yuchen will destroy the world? Yakumo. Ridiculous toad, just bewitching people with gossip. Black soil. Destroy the world? Can't Mr. Yuchen use a huge Tensigan to do it? Hanhan finally got it right once. Kushina. Hey, with us here, Mr. Yuchen would not be able to destroy the world. Samui. Well, if my guess is correct, it should be that Yuchen thought of a way to peacefully unify the ninja world. He has said it more than once, then the regimes of the hidden villages will be banned by then, and they will indeed disappear in the world. In history, even Konoha is no exception, but the village will definitely be preserved. Makoto. This is obviously misleading. It wants Jiraiya to target Mr. Yuchen? Azuki Shion. Good calculation. Tsunade. Hakura. Do you know how Jiraiya understands this sentence? Yi Kang. Mr. Jiraiya thinks that the outsider refers to the sprite, and is going to fight with him. Yi Kang. Zayuan has already seen the future of her death, if Mr. Yuchen doesn't come. Convergence. This understanding is very Jiraiya. Karama Yakumo. In any case, this stinky toad should not be forgiven lightly. Kaguya. When the concubine comes out, destroy it first. Makoto. Come out? Are you going to break the seal and come out? Kaguya stopped talking for a moment. Seeing this, the girls understood that she probably didn't need to be a 10-tails Jinchuriki to cast infinite Tsukuyomi to come out, but the time is not sure yet. This is a big problem. After all, it is not sure whether Kaguya will be an enemy or a friend after he comes out. When they are free, they need to discuss this issue in reality. The group suddenly fell silent. Seeing this, Kaguya also knew that her situation had been exposed, but she didn't care. In the face of absolute strength, all calculations are useless. Meanwhile, Anko's home. Zhao Yuchen turned over suddenly and fell on Anko. You, Mr. Yuchen? I respected you last night, but now, it's my turn to be on top. 2 hours later. Yuchen's mansion, at the dining table. Zhao Yuchen wiped his mouth, and asked the elite next to him, is Master 5th Generation still accepting the guidance of Master 2nd Generation? Yeah, Mr. Yuchen, are you going to save someone? Shizune blinked. No, as a Hokage, it's good to improve a bit, don't rely on others for everything. Do you have the nerve to say this? Is Nagato still being haunted by Dazu, Master 1st Generation? Zhao Yuchen asked Conan again. Hey, you meant to talk about Dazuzi just now. I got used to the catchy words in the diary, but it turned out to be the real thing. Well, I don't have to worry about Nagato's safety at all now. Conan brushed his hair, and a slight smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Today, she didn't wear a Chawangsha member's coat, but a set of skirts, which perfectly outlined her figure. Yesterday, Zhao Yuchen originally agreed to take Conan and Uzumaki Nagato to visit Konoha, but Senju Hashirama said that he would be the guide. Although he didn't understand why a person who hadn't left Konoha for more than 50 years had such confidence, Chen still complied with his wish. But everyone understands that it is obviously Rinnegan who accompanied Dazuzi. Those are Madara's eyes. Let Nagato bear with it, it will pass soon. Zhao Yuchen also showed an unkind smile on his face, and then asked, have all the members of the Shao organization notified them to come? Well, they have all started to rush to Konoha, and they will arrive the day after tomorrow at the earliest. Zhao Yuchen nodded. Next, he chatted with the girls for a while, and began to find excuses to leave because of the tacit understanding of the family. There is no task today, and Hinata, who is free, is entrusted by Yuchen to take care of Anko, who is recuperating at home with Xianglin. As for the housework at home, there are Mika Nai and Tsubaki to take care of it, and there is enough manpower for the time being. Conan was invited by Samui and Terumi Mei to watch a movie together. In short, everyone has their own business. Time is left for Yuchen and Yui Hong. You take Anko to visit Orochimaru's base and witness Orochimaru's departure. What about me? Yui Hong took the initiative to attack for the first time, showing the posture of a mature sister. Seeing this, Zhao Yuchen blinked and said, who said I want to date you? I remember that Senior Zhenhong once entrusted you with the will of fire. Let's go directly to make little Yui Hong. Yu. Seeing Zhao Yuchen's serious look, Shi Rihong immediately believed it. With light makeup on, her charming and beautiful face immediately showed a sad expression. Why treat her differently from Anko? Is it because she was anti by Yakumo Anko? She also wants to have a good date with her man, have a good relationship, and have exclusive memories of the two of them. Hey, don't you believe me? Zhao Yuchen secretly thought that it was not good, and hurried forward to hug Shi Rihong into his arms, and said with a light smile, I'm just kidding you. It looks so mature, why can't it be cheated so much? You lied to me. Yuri Hong's eyes narrowed. How could she forget that the smelly man in front of her is a master of acting? She shouldn't doubt Yuchen either, his tenderness and consideration are recognized. I am so stupid. Seeing Yuchen's wicked smile, Yui Hong was suddenly ashamed and annoyed, her eyes suddenly became fierce. Not good. Zhao Yuchen knew women extremely well and immediately realized what was going to happen. You lied to me is a very special switch for women. But for a woman who loves herself, it is very simple to solve the problem. Zhao Yuchen immediately leaned over. Oh. Yui Hong's pupils widened. But soon, she closed her eyes. On the other side, Anko finished the breakfast in satisfaction, then stretched out his arms to hug Hinata, and cheered. Thank you, Hinata-chan, I finally regained my strength. Ah. Huh. Hinata was overwhelmed by Anko's enthusiasm, and nodded with a reddish face. Sister Anko, is brother Yuchen good at playing games? Xianglin approached Anko with an expression of 8 trigrams. That's pretty awesome. Playing games with me is the same as playing. Anko didn't shy away, and explained carelessly. I was still a beginner last night. Think about it, Sister Kushina and Sister Makoto can't do Yuchen-kun together. Do you think I can do it? That's right. Do you plan to play? It's fun to fly, but it's a pity that you are still young and not suitable for experiencing such violent games. I really want to grow up quickly. In another 3 years, Renren will be fast. Not that long, there are only 897 days and 4 hours. Accurate to the hour. Admire. Don't dare to do it, don't dare to do it. Hinata. Can you avoid me a little bit? Sister Anko, are you Waigao? Hinata saw some white water stains on the side of the bed, picked up the paper towel next to it and wiped it. Anko glanced casually, followed by pupils dilated. She exclaimed, wait, Hinata. Hinata wipes off the water stains with a paper towel. Sister Anko. What's wrong? It's nothing. Anko shook his head in embarrassment, and said, just throw the tissue away. Yeah. Hinata complied and threw the tissue in the trash. At this time, Xianglin rolled his eyes and leaned into Anko's ear to ask softly. Anko blushed slightly, nodded and gave an answer. Xianglin blushed slightly, leaned close to Hinata's ear and said, Hinata, that thing. Ah. Hinata shuddered. Her white eyes gradually lost focus, and finally her brain was smoking, and she fell headlong on the bed. Ah. What are you doing telling her the truth? Anko complained about Xianglin, and reached out to help Hinata adjust her posture so that she could sleep more comfortably. It's not that Hinata-chan thought she wouldn't faint casually, I tested her. Xianglin stuck out her tongue. She expressed embarrassment on her mouth, but she didn't care in her heart. Scented phosphorus. Ino-chan, Hinata fainted. Ino. Huh? How did you do it? Fragrant phosphorus, she accidentally touched a tadpole herself. Ino. What is tadpole, the original form of stinky toad summoning beast? Ino. Huh, just thinking about it makes me sick, and I might faint when I encounter it. Aromatic phosphorus. Xianglin. Didn't you start learning medical ninjutsu from Sister Tsunade recently? Little tadpole refers to the biological level, you know. Ino. Good guy. Ino patted himself on the forehead. What's wrong? Shi Yan stole a curious look. The same is true for Narashikamaru and Akamichi Choji, but Azuki Shion stopped him. Pull the weeds well, don't try to be lazy. Shikamaru suddenly looked speechless, thinking why Ino can be lazy, wouldn't this increase his workload? It's really troublesome. Good job, these few days I will treat you to a big meal. It is the Dinner Hot Pot series launched by Kyushu Shaowin. It is delicious that you have never tasted before. Azuki Shion's voice came again. Akamichi Choji's eyes lit up, and he immediately entered the working state. Seeing this, Shikamaru became more and more speechless, wondering if this is a bully? But the complaints are the complaints, but the movements of his hands are not slow. There is a teammate who can eat very much, and he is also very pursuing about eating. Sister Shion, what happened? Shizune whispered in Azuki Shion's ear. After hearing the details, Shion's ears turned red, and she said speechlessly, this guy, Anko, is really not careful at all. Why? Shi Yan. Anko. Why are you so careless, you don't even know how to clean up the traces of the battle first. Hinata fainted. Anko. Hey, do you know how tired I am? The upper and lower eyelids are fighting. Do you know how much energy I spent cleaning up the battlefield and opening the door when Hinata-chan and the others came? Where do I have the energy? Pay attention to the details, that is, now that you have enough breakfast, you will have energy. Anko. Wait, how did you know about this? Shi Yan. Ino told me. Anko. How is Ino? Fragrant phosphorus. Anko. Really, can there be some secrets between people? I still need to rest and talk back. After the communication ended, Anko looked at Xianglin speechlessly and said, why are you still spreading the news? Ino-chan is not an outsider, and it was she who asked me to try Hinata to see if she could get dizzy. Xianglin explained. Bad friends. Hinata-chan makes bad friends. Anko slapped his chest in pain. Sister Anko, don't you wonder how Sister Yui Hong and brother Yuchen date? Xianglin asked in confusion. Hearing this, Anko's eyes lit up immediately, and he smiled and said, do you have a solution? No. Anko, but I can ask directly. Xianglin. I'm so envious, Sister Yui Hong, have you started dating Yuchen big brother yet? Azuki Shion. What's wrong? Anko. Shion, you are so fast, aren't you leading Ino and the others to carry out the mission? Shi Yan. Didn't you still say you're going to sleep? Ino. Sister Shion promised to treat guests to hot pot, Choji is full of energy. Terumi Mei. Hi, really hi. Xianglin. Oh, don't interrupt, I'm asking Sister Yui Hong. Yui Hong, dating. Mr. Yuchen snatched my first kiss as soon as he came up. Conan. In your group, chatting is so hot. Samui, it's good to get used to it, but I don't understand Yuchen's operation. Black soil. Maybe Sister Yui Hong is more attractive. Kushina. I can't agree with that. Makoto, huh? Pommel horse Yakumo. Hey. Anko. You might as well say that red makes people more attractive to invade. The plastic sisters are really hammered. Shi Rihong. In short, I'm in such a mess right now, I don't even feel like chatting anymore. Anko. Before you leave, can you please satisfy our curiosity, but where are you dating? Yu Rihong. Let me ask. Yui Hong. Yuchen said to go to Kirigakure. Terumi Mei. Yui Hong. I didn't go to Kirigakure last time, so I went there to set up Flying Thunder God Kanai and see if I can find Hakura and the others, but the main reason is to take me to eat seafood octopus. Excited eyes. When saw this sentence, the eyes of all the girls lit up. Terumi Mei's heart warmed, she understood that Bai Yuchen went to Kirigakure to set up Flying Thunder God Kanai, mostly for her oral wife. Don't say she is a Puxin girl, she thinks so anyway. The girls of Ino were also very moved, they understood that they took the situation of Ino Shikacho and others to heart. Although this man didn't say anything, what he did really made them love him to death. Of course, the happiest thing is Yui Hong. Terumi Mei. Hong, do you like seafood very much? Anko. Hong really prefers seafood, but actually he likes octopus the most, and it is mustard-flavored octopus. Terumi Mei. No wonder I go to Kirigakure. Seafood is abundant in the eastern part of the Land of Fire, the Land of Waves, the Land of Bears, and the Land of Iron. But when it comes to octopus, I have to be Kirigakure, who is famous in the ninja world. Tamari. So, Mr. Yuchen knows that Sister Hong likes to eat octopus, so he specially took her from Konoha to Kirigakure to eat? Yui Hong. Yes, Mr. Yuchen also brought mustard sauce, and a sauce that he said he made himself is more delicious than mustard sauce. I am looking forward to it now. The girls suddenly shouted that they couldn't bear it. This man is really good at it. Every time, they can accurately hit the weakness in their hearts. Makoto. I suddenly feel that dating on the moon is nothing, and I have to have an exclusive date. Kushina. I wonder if Mr. Yuchen really knows the hobbies of each of us. Yui Hong. Anyway, she must know me. She said that she would take me to see the sea in the morning, eat octopus for lunch, catch seafood by myself in the afternoon, give me exclusive seafood barbecue for dinner, and then accompany me for dinner. No drinking, just drinking night wine. Yui Hong is one of the few hobbies she loves the most. This man really understands him. Female. Stop talking. Tears left from the corner of his mouth again. Fortunately, they are all available, but they need to line up. Etc. Otsutsuki Kaguya frowned deeply. How could I have such an idea? Am I emotionally moved? In the first ball space, Otsutsuki Kaguya was sitting on the top of the mountain, and White's eyes flickered. After a long time, her expression returned to calm, and she put away the copy of the diary with a wave of her hand. Love? Impossible, absolutely impossible. This group of chats must be affecting my mind. This time, the concubine must quit it. It's just the breeding of evil thoughts. Kaguya slowly closed her eyes, devoting herself to recovering her strength. She wants to break the seal and go out as soon as possible, solve all hidden dangers, and rule the world again. Yui Hong. Stop chatting with everyone, enjoy dating. Everyone will have this day. No, this day often happens. Yui Hong finished communicating with the girls, took the initiative to hold Yuchen's hand, and snuggled into his arms. At this time, the vermilion bird mechanism beast shuttles through the clouds, and can take in all the scenery below. Yui Hong admired all this and recorded it all. About a few hours later, the vermilion bird mechanism beast came to the sea and began to descend. Zhao Yuchen took out a sealing scroll, and took out a new mechanism beast, Xuanwu. Although this Xuanwu mechanism beast was also forged according to the one in memory, Zhao Yuchen improved it, making it not only big in size, but also has the function of a submarine. Walk. Zhao Yuchen turned on the Xuanwu mechanism and lowered the beast, entered with Yui Hong, and then began to descend under control. Soon the world in the sea clearly appeared in the eyes of the two of them. The sunlight is projected on the quiet seabed, as if the light through the spectrum is bent and analyzed. It is so beautiful. Looking down, what you see is a variety of corals that can't see the edge. They seem to enter a piece of coral kingdom. Colorful small fish shuttle among the corals, strange and lovely shellfish, starfish, jellyfish, etc. lie on a shoal, and there are seaweeds of various colors. It's so beautiful. Yui Hong couldn't help sighing. That is Zhao Yuchen. Although he has been to the underwater world and dived a few times, he has never seen such an original underwater scenery and immersed himself in it for a while. Sunset red, picture. Sunset red, picture picture. Sunset red, pictures, pictures, pictures. Terumi Mei. Terumi Mei. Sisters, this time it's not hilarious, I'm serious. As a ninja native to Kirigakure, Terumi Mei said she never had the chance to see such beauty. He grew up under the policy of iron and blood in the blood mist, and if he was not careful, he would be killed by his companions at the same time. After finally growing up and becoming stronger, I met Uchiha Obito, a lunatic who controlled 4th Mizukage, making Kirigakure blood successful ninjas in danger and precarious. Plus constant missions, battles, and wars in life. She can even miss the wedding date of her marriage partner. How can she have time to experience life? Anko. Watch the bottom with me, watch the bottom with you. Sour +1. Makoto. In terms of scenery, I think the ruins of the lunar city and the links in the artificial ocean on the moon are not bad, but I am not envious. Kushina. I am envious. The previous link of our Uzushio village is similar to that of Kirigakure. When I was a child, I also went to the beach to play and collect shells on the beach, but I really didn't have a chance to experience it in the sea. Samui. Calm down, be cold. By Wooden Golem. You crushed the ice cream, let alone calm down. Samui. To be honest, I don't even know what I am most interested in. Do you think Yuchen will know and surprise me? Xianglin. You can always trust brother Yuchen. Hinata. Ino. Hinata-chan is awake. Karama Yakumo. How about the tadpoles, is it fun? Anko. I'm really dizzy again, I guess lunch is over. All the girls smiled immediately. This time Hinata probably didn't faint, but she must faint to death. Damn it. With a flick of Hinata's eyelashes, a little devil was fully formed. Don't think I can't revenge you. Yui Hong. Share it with you, and I will also record it, anyway, everyone will have it. Yui Hong. No more talking, it's time to taste the octopus. Yui Hong. See Guoi, it's delicious. This is a group chat, not a circle of friends, okay? Having said that, what is the bandit circle of friends? How do they know? After flipping through the contents of the diary, they quickly found the answer. Yuchen mentioned that if Dazuzi had a mobile phone, he would definitely post to Moments every day to blow Madara. What is this phone? The small episode made everyone more curious about the environment in Yuchen's previous life. Kushina. By the way, how are you doing now? Yi Kang. Alright, I told Ziyuan about the content in the group chat, and saw Yuchen flying over our island with Miss Hong. Kushina. What? Didn't Yuchen find you? Yi Kang. That's right, this enchantment that traps us should be able to affect the sight of the outside world and isolate perception, making it impossible for people to discover. Samui. Such a powerful enchantment. In this way, the troops sent by Princess Tsunade may not be able to find the island where you are. Tsunade. It's not a big problem. Tomorrow, let Luffy from Hyuga's family, who is a red belt, pay a visit. When the time comes, Yi Kang pays attention to the situation outside and can determine the area and scope. Terumi Mei. Good idea, Tsunade-ji, you are suddenly so smart. It seems that the master of second generation has taught you well. Tsunade. Shang Lin. This maiden named Ziyuan is so pitiful, she needs the help of sister Yi Kang to know the group chat, can't she be added to the group? Yi Kang. Ziyuan said that she has practiced chakra refining technique for a long time, but she has never been able to successfully refine chakra. Azuki Shion. This feeling is counterintuitive. Ziyuan has the ability to see people die and seal monsters, how could she not have the talent to become a ninja? Tsunade. According to historical records, it seems that witches have no record of successful cultivation for thousands of years, so no matter how the outside world changes, their lineage has always been stable in the ghost country. Makoto. Does it matter? Otsutsuki Kaguya must have done it, maybe the nature of this power is really a curse. All the girls nodded. They felt that it was impossible for Kaguya to kindly share her strength. The creation of the lineage of witches is only to seal the evil thoughts of monsters, and it is impossible to let them escape from my control. Kaguya. How ridiculous, the concubine can count on mere human beings, or is it the human beings who are credited to the concubine? Kaguya. The lineage of witches can bear the power of concubines and have a very special constitution. The so-called chakra refining technique created by Yuya and transformed by you and other mortals is not enough to extract chakra from their physical strength. Kaguya. The most suitable practice for the witch lineage is the self-world practice method, which directly uses the natural chakra practice, strengthens physical strength and feeds back spiritual energy and physical energy at the same time. At the same time, it has its own chakra, and there is no need to worry about the risk of failure. There is a risk of failure in practicing fairy art, which is known to all women today. Unexpectedly, the witch can practice immortality directly with confidence. Makoto. Did you hear that? You can ask Mr. Jiraiya to directly teach resources to practice Sage Mode, and she will become stronger in no time, and she can also join the group chat. Tsunade. If Jiraiya is not willing, then wait for Shion to come to Konoha and let the grandpa teach. Anyway, he was going to teach Hotaru, and it's the same to teach two at the same time. Kaguya. Silent. How do you feel like she was being calculated? Yukura. Tsunade-ji, I told Shion about this, and she asked me to thank you and everyone. Yi Kang. At Otsutsuki Kaguya, especially you, I would like to thank you for letting her know that she is not a curse of fate in her life, but that constitution is very powerful. Kaguya. Does the concubine need to be thanked? I just can't understand your ignorance. Wait, why on earth did I open the group chat and participate in it? Kaguya was lost in thought. Makoto. This time, Goddess Izuki did a really good job, which is worthy of recognition. Ridiculous. I want you to be sure. Kushina. Not bad, not bad. I know how to solve people's doubts. Kaguya-ji is becoming more and more human, you have to work hard to reform, and if you reform well, you won't have to go to jail. Kaguya. Ridiculous, the concubine will break free from the seal and needs to be reformed? Kushina. You can break free from the seal, can't we reinforce it? That's right. This is the result of private discussions among the girls in a direct showdown with Kaguya-ji. Can't kill her, and can't strengthen the seal while she is sealed? They can't do it, and Yuchen can't do it either. Kaguya. You wait. Very good. Kushina. Of course we are fine, we are a family. Fragrant phosphorus. Either you join, or you go to jail indefinitely. Kaguya. You. Successfully angered the concubine. A mere human dares to despise my concubine over and over again. Wait. Give love. Samui. Ji Tsunade, from what you said just now, could it be that the master of second generation has already accepted his disciple Yingying? For Master First Hokage to come forward and instruct a person on the cultivation of immortal arts, it must be a request from second generation. And to be able to speak with the eyes of second generation, I am afraid that there is only a master-student relationship. Tsunade. Otherwise, do you think Mr. Hokage has time to chat with you? Tsunade holding chest picture. All the girls. Master Hokage is awesome. Tsunade, low-key, low-key. Tsunade. Speaking of this matter, the second grandfather Yingming I was also played in the palm of his hand, ha ha ha, laughing to death. Female. Very well, although it is a granddaughter. But what are you talking about? Is this the word of tiger and wolf? Is there a problem with Tsunade's statement, or is there a problem with our thinking? There must be something wrong with Tsunade's statement. All the women do not admit that their thoughts are polluted. By Wooden Golem. Tsunade-ji, please elaborate on this matter. Curious cat. Second generation's flat news, shouldn't you listen to it? Tsunade. Shizune, I will play Mr. Yuchen, and you will play my second grandfather. Shizune. So big, the world. Tsunade. Progress summary. Mr. Yuchen came to me in the morning and said, 5th generation, can you introduce Maruhoshi Kosuke to me? Our Konoha genin. The strength is in Jonin. A water attribute ninja. Can pass. The second grandfather pointed out. Do you know the seniors? Shizune. Second generation. Maruhoshi Kosuke, so he is still alive. What do you want him for? Tsunade. Yuchen. Second generation. Do you still remember Hotaru? The little girl pestered me to become a ninja as a teacher. In order to deal with her, I said that I would only be eligible if I learned to tread water for a long time. Shizune. Second generation. Half a day. I learned how to climb trees at once, and mastered treading water in half a quarter of an hour, but Hotaru was born in the earth spider family, and I don't have much knowledge about ninjas. The chakra refining technique I mastered is average, and it is difficult to master directly treading water. It's embarrassing people. Tsunade. Yuchen. It was originally an excuse, who knew that it took the little girl half a day to master it. Shizune. Second generation. Oh. Yuchen. I was also very surprised, but I was not too surprised when I thought that she might not be weak in controlling chakra. I thought I should deal with it first, and said that now she is qualified to be a teacher, but she still needs to look at the ninja talent. By the way, tested him with chakra test strips and found it to be water in nature. Second generation. Water attribute. Not bad. Yuchen. I taught her water style water severing wave, told her to learn it in half a day, and I officially accepted her as a disciple. Second generation. You are embarrassing the little girl. It took the old man an hour to master it. Senju Tobarama is a powerful and well-established Senju clan in Constitution, and it is in an environment like Sengoku where there are daily wars and deaths, and the right time, place and people are able to perform such an excellent performance. Hotaru wants to master a water-style ninjutsu for a long time, isn't it embarrassing? Yuchen. It was difficult at first, but who knew that they did it again? Second generation. What? Tsunade. Yuchen. Second generation project adults also find it unbelievable. But the fact is so I have no choice but to fulfill my promise. But when I think about it carefully, I actually earned it. With her talent, her future accomplishments in water style may be on par with the second generation, and she has the forbidden technique of the Earth Spider clan on her back. Not only is she a powerful heaven-defying, it also shows that you were born with a natural affinity for chakra, and you should be able to master Sage Mode and use Sage Art. The Sage Art Wood style of the first generation project is so strong, and the Sage Art Water style of the Firefly is probably not weak. It's no shame to have this disciple, just accept it. However, I've been a little busy recently, so I'm going to ask Senior Maruhoshi to help me lay the foundation for Yingying. Shizune. Second generation. Then why don't you ask me for help? Tsunade. Yuchen. You are second Hokage, you are so busy, you are planning to instruct Master Tsunade to do a good job of Hokage recently, I think. Shizune. Second generation forcibly interrupted. Don't you think, I want me to think, the foundation of this child is left to me. Tsunade. Yuchen. This, isn't it good? Shizune. Second generation. It's a deal, I'm going now, where is she? Tsunade. Yuchen. The upper reaches of the Konoha River. Shizune. Second generation everyone disappeared in an instant. Tsunade. The situation is almost the same. Now the second grandfather is busy laying the ninja foundation for Hotaru. Terumi Mei. 666, but I think the second generation project still has the idea of personally taking the exam. Samui. Once it is confirmed that Yingying's talent is the same as what Yuchen said, Tangtang's second generation may want to rob his apprentice. Uyue Xian. At that time, Mr. Yuchen must be reluctant to give way to his apprentice, and take advantage of the trend to focus on benefits. It's compensation, it's reasonable, right? Kushina. It really is a win-win situation, meaning Yuchen won twice. Tsunade. The second grandpa was tricked by Yuchen, but it made me unexpectedly relieved. Now I just want to drink 3 cups. Kushina. Drink hard? Shouldn't it be to find a gambling house to play a few hands? Tsunade. It's ridiculous, Mr. Yuchen said that my gambling is a weapon of causality, and it is impossible to win if no bad things happen. I am stupid to send money. Tsunade. The bet I like is not losing. Tsunade. At Terumi Mei at Conan, I hit 3 with 1. Are you here to fight the landlord? 3 girls. Yes. Kushina. Will the landlord not lose? Tsunade. As long as everyone who gambles with me has a copy of the diary, I will not lose every bet, it all depends on gambling skills. Proud. Karama Yakumo. It's worthy of my husband's diary, it's amazing. Convergence. The group chat became quiet again, and all the girls went to busy themselves with their own affairs. After visiting the underwater scenery, Zhao Yuchen and Yui Hong came to the border town of the country of water to eat all kinds of seafood, mainly octopus. After that, the two went fishing together, went into the sea to catch seafood, and started grilling in the evening, having a great time. When the moon was on the branch, Zhao Yuchen took out the vermilion bird mechanism beast again, and returned to Konoha village with Yui Hong. However, he was not in a hurry to find a place for dinner with Yui Hong, but came to the cemetery of heroes in Konoha village. Why did you bring me here? Yui Hong held Yuchen's arm and leaned against him. Of course it's a real gift for you. Yuchen smiled slightly, and brought Yui Hong to a tombstone. This tombstone belongs to Yui Hong's father, Yui Zhenhong. Since I want to be your man, of course I need to tell my father-in-law. What do you think? Yuchen looked at Yuhi's red eyes tenderly. Yeah. Yui Hong nodded happily. She thought that Zhao Yuchen must have admitted that he would be good to her in front of her father's tombstone, which made her very happy. Because this shows that Yuchen really cares about her, not only knows her hobbies, but also what she values most. But the next moment, she realized that her excitement was a little shallow. Did you bring anything? Zhao Yuchen asked suddenly. Then Hong saw a man with silver hair and pigtails and glasses walking out of the shadows, holding a test tube and a white zetsu. This person was Yukushi Kabuto, and Koi took the initiative to seek refuge shortly after Yuchen returned to Konoha. Zhao Yuchen guessed what he was planning, but didn't care. When Yukushi Nanoyu comes back to life, he will naturally discard redundant thoughts. If it really doesn't work, it's not that I can't find a suitable person to cast Izanami. Yukushi Kabuto's talent in scientific research deserves so much for him. Master Yuchen, these are the things you want. Yukushi Kabuto put 2 things on the open space in front of Zhao Yuchen, and then stepped back obediently. Zhao Yuchen took a step forward, quickly formed a seal with both hands, and then pressed down. Reanimation Jutsu. A circle of mantra charts appear on the ground, wrapping the test tube and white zetsu. Immediately afterwards, a soul in the Pure Land was summoned, traveled through space and time, appeared on the mantra, and flew into the body of white zetsu. Silent. In a series of strange chanting sounds, countless dusts gathered together, and finally turned into a body. His facial features are somewhat similar to Yui Hong, and there are a pair of red eyes in the black eyes, which are different from strangers, which are exactly the same as Yui Hong. It was Jonin from Konohagakure, the instructor who was responsible for guiding Chunin and Genin, and Yui Kurumi's father who died in the Nine Tails Rebellion, Yui Kuruma. Father, my lord father, Yui Hong exclaimed in shock. She thought that Yuchen was just going to the tombstone to make a statement, but she didn't expect to directly reveal her father. Are you red? Zhao Yuchen did not control Yui Zhenhong's personality, so he is now conscious and can fully control his body. Looking at the 2 young men in front of him, He was a little suspicious that he had suffered the attack of Nine Tails head-on, so he couldn't possibly be alive, and then he was attracted by those red eyes. Looking at the face that is 6 points similar to his dead wife, it is not difficult for him to guess the identity of Yui Hong. But this made him even more confused, because he clearly remembered that Hong had just graduated from ninja school not long ago. "Father, I am Hong." Yui Hong's legs were weak from excitement. She held Yuchen's arm tightly to prevent herself from falling down, and cried with joy. 12 years, we finally meet again." 12 years? You mean, it's 12 years since Nine Tails attacked Konoha? "Yes, my lord father. Is Konoha okay now?" "Konoha is fine now. Before I died, I saw the 4th generation appear. Did he go to Nine Tails?" "Yes, Lord 4th generation ended up with ghouls in Nine Tails. Since then, 3rd generation has returned to power, but now it is 5th Hokage, Lord Tsunade." Kurenai Yui knows Yui Hong's character, so she tells the major events that happened in Konoha village in these years after his death, so that he can have a basic understanding. Of course, it also includes Uzumaki Naruto's encounter, 3rd generation's inaction, Kushina's resurrection and killing of Danzo, Tsunade's rise to the top, various changes in Konoha village now, and so on. At the same time, somewhere in the Kingdom of Fire, the Guy Squad quickly completed the task of clearing the bandits under the condition that they could operate the White Tiger organ to fight every day, and were preparing to find a place to spend the night, and went to the village early the next morning. The speed at which the task was completed made all 4 of them very satisfied. Not only does it mean that the income can be improved, but also more time to practice. But the 4 didn't notice that there were 2 pairs of eyes looking at them in the sky. "Brother Scorpion, Baihu asked us to go to Konoha village earlier. I also want to go there to promote my art, eh? What are you doing so slowly? Do what?" The eyes of the most superficial puppet of the scorpion are fixed, and the desire to explore rises. "Don't you think those 2 puppets are very interesting?" Brother Scorpion is referring to the big bird that can fly and the big cat that is not weak in lethality? Fancy bells and whistles, The creator has an idea, but it's not as good as my explosion art, eh? "Art is eternal beauty," Scorpion said in a hoarse voice. "You are still young, so you don't understand." "No, art is an explosion." Deidara stretched out a hand and said, "The beauty of the moment is irreplaceable." Hearing this, Shie didn't bother to argue with Deidara. He believed that Deidara would understand in the future. "Go down and catch up with them." "Oh." Deidara nodded, but then reacted and said, "Brother Scorpion, do you want to snatch those 2 giant puppets?" "No?" Scorpion asked indifferently. "If I read correctly, those 4 ninjas are from Konoha, and one of them is from the Hyuga clan. If we attack them, the leader and Baihu will definitely be upset." Deidara hesitated. Conan and Pain asked them to meet up at Konoha as soon as possible, probably due to progress in the resurrection or a change in the plan. If Scorpion did something to Konoha's people at this juncture, it would cause unnecessary trouble. "So you don't dare?" Scorpion said with disdain in his voice. "Talking nonsense. I, Tongtian, am not afraid of anything." "Then follow. You. Just follow." Deidara immediately controlled Big Bird to follow. Soon, the 4 of Conan appeared in their sight again. "Shua." Scorpion suddenly jumped high and fell like a meteor, falling in front of Guy and the others. "Enemy attack." The Guy 4 immediately showed combat readiness. Amidst the smoke and dust, a puppet of a scorpion crawling appeared, wearing the Hongyun Black Windbreaker of Shao organization. "Shao." Tianxian instinctively said. Thanks to Zhao Yuchen's diary, she now knows a lot about ninja news and intelligence. In the original trajectory Yuchen heard, the Shao organization played various important roles, which is still fresh in people's memory. Speaking of which, Uzumaki Nagato, the leader of the Akatsuki organization, has been instigated by Zhao Yuchen and is now visiting Konoha. There is also a Conan sister who has a diary just like her. Tien, do you know his identity?" Guy asked in a defensive posture. He could feel that the scorpion was not weak, which gave him a deadly sense of danger. He is a member of the Akatsuki organization, and the Akatsuki organization is. Tell the known information quickly every day, and find Conan in the group at the same time. Every day. At Conan, sister, we met a suspected member of your organization on the way back to Konoha, wearing the same coat as when you first arrived in Konoha, as if he was doing something to us. By Wooden Golem, a member of the Akatsuki organization. I also met 2 zombie-like guys on the way to Konoha. Shizune. A shot at you. Now, it shouldn't be. Conan. Don't worry, just look at this member's hands and tell me where the ring is worn, or what code name it is. Tien. I saw that this person seems to have no hands, like a beast crawling on the ground. Conan. That is the scorpion in the state of Filuhu, only he has this image. Yi Kang. Scorpion. Is it the red sand scorpion? Conan. It's him, the puppet genius who assassinated and poisoned your third Kazekage in Sanagakure. Nagato has fought against him. His biggest hole card seems to be the puppet made from the body of third Kazekage, and he can even use the power of magnet style. Yukura. The news was sent back to Sanagakure. I don't know how exciting Chio's elder face is. Tamari. Why did the scorpion attack Tianshan? Wouldn't it be our Sanagakure? Azuki Shion. It is not difficult to guess, mostly because of the two mechanism beasts Vermilion Bird and White Tiger. Conan. Well, every day you tell Shie directly that you can get these two kinds of mechanism beasts in Konoha village, so as to avoid infighting among yourself. Tien. Got it. Are you Mr. Scorpion? Tien asked Scorpion. Shie Wei, who was looking for Might Guy's flaws, was stunned, and said coldly, even if you know me, I will not let you go. Do you want the White Tiger mechanism and the Vermilion Bird mechanism? Organ Beast? Oh, it's these two big guys. Immediately release the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast and the White Tiger mechanism beast every day, and land on the open space ahead. Scorpion. She's tempting me. Give them to me, I can let you go, Scorpion said. In principle, he did not keep alive. But with such cooperation every day, and considering Konoha village in pain, he decided to make an exception. Rampant. Guy took a step forward and started mobilizing chakra in his body. As long as Tien refuses, he immediately opens the 8 inner gates. Leaving it to you? It doesn't need to be so troublesome. Tien smiled and said, Miss Conan has prepared a set of mechanism beasts for you, and you can get them after you arrive at Konoha. Except for the Vermilion Bird and White Tiger mechanism you see now. In addition to beasts, there are Xuanwu mechanism beasts suitable for underwater combat, and the most powerful Azure Dragon mechanism beast. Scorpion. He has done a lot of psychological construction for himself, and he is ready to take the risk of being taught by pain. But now, Tianshan told him that he could get it when he arrived at Konoha, and it was not limited to the two puppets in front of him. This seems ridiculous. Fortunately, he didn't intend to kill anyone, otherwise it would be even more ridiculous. Shua. Scorpion turned to leave. But at this moment, Tianshan took the initiative to stop him. Mr. Xie, do you want to control the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast first to practice your hands? There are instructions here. They don't use mechanism beasts to travel, that's because of the lack of chakra. But Scorpion, as a strong man in the Akatsuki organization, does not lack chakra, right? What's more, he is also a puppet master. After being speechless for a while, Xie eagerly jumped onto the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast, and then began to study. Seeing this every day, I immediately greeted Guy and others to go up. Soon, the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast took off under the control of the Scorpion. Seeing this scene, Deidara was speechless for a while. He spoke so aggressively, and ended up running over to become a driver for Konoha's people? At this time, Tien did not forget to report safety and thank you in the group chat. At Conan, thank you sister, it's been fixed. Let Mr. Xie control the Vermilion Bird mechanism beast. Now we can go back to Konoha directly, and tomorrow we can go to brother Yuchen's house for dinner. Conan. You're welcome, but you should be careful about Scorpion and Deidara, members of our organization, except for me and Pain, everyone else has some brain problems. Terumi Mei. Puff haha, that's really hard for you. Samui. You puff haha, you made me think that Yuchen updated his diary. Anko. Speaking of this, Hong, haven't you returned to Konoha yet? Yui Hong. I came back a long time ago, and I am chatting with my father. Anko. Oh, so it was your father chatting, is that true? Your father? Yui Hong. Impure World Reincarnation, Mr. Yuchen, father of Impure World Reincarnation. Let me see you again, and I will definitely be resurrected in a real sense at that time. I am a bit busy, so I won't tell you. Yui Hong is still talking to Yui Zhenhong, and Yuchen is beside her, so it is not easy to be distracted. The girls could also understand, so they chatted among themselves, mainly expressing their sighs, hoping that their loved ones would also be resurrected by Yuchen. A lot has happened over the years. After a long time, Yui Zhenhong sighed, and then looked at Yuchen with satisfaction in his eyes. Unexpectedly, you are already Hokage's assistant at such a young age, and you were recognized by Mr. Hokage and the villagers. I am relieved that Hong can have a boyfriend like you. Zhao Yuchen heard something wrong in these words, and said, Senior Zhenhong, you are now in the state of Impure World Reincarnation. As long as you unlock it, you can always exist in this world. As expected, It is the reanimation jutsu created by the second-generation master. Makoto Yuhi didn't care about the fact that he could always exist in the world, but asked a little seriously, I remember that to perform this ninjutsu, you need to resurrect the target's flesh and blood and sacrifices. How can you have my flesh and blood? He remembered that he was attacked by Nine Tails head-on, and there was absolutely no bones left. Senior, the forbidden technique can also be improved. Yuchen smiled and said, now to cast Impure World Reincarnation, you only need to have cells, and the body cells of seniors were collected and cultivated when the roots were cleaning the battlefield. To Orochimaru. As for the sacrifice, it doesn't have to be a living person now, and a substitute has been found. White Zetsu is essentially a special creature of Otsutsuki Kaguya Yang done long ago. Although it has wisdom, it has no soul. In other words, as long as Otsutsuki Kaguya exists, the soul will always exist. It can be understood as shadow clone. I see. Yui Hong relaxed, and then said, after all, I am a deceased person, and the will of fire has also been handed over to Hong, so I have no regrets. Let me live in such a body. I want to go back to the Pure Land to accompany Masako. Masako, Yui Hong's mother. I also have a way to revive Hong's mother, Zhao Yuchen said. No, Impure World Reincarnation's body is just Impure World Reincarnation after all. Yui Hong shook her head. Senior Hong may not have understood. I mean that you will be resurrected in a real sense, and it will be realized soon. Master Hokage also knows about this. Zhao Yuchen said again. We are dead after all. Yui Hong still wanted to insist. By the way, I forgot to tell you that Mr. First Hokage and Second Hokage are now in the state of Impure World Reincarnation, and they will carry out a real resurrection at that time. In addition, there are many people in the Conan world. Zhao Yuchen said seriously. The sunset is really red. Seeing Yui Hong's expectant gaze, he changed his face stiffly and said, are you sure you can revive Masako? Of course. Zhao Yuchen promised. Okay then, I'll trouble you. Yui Hong nodded stiffly, and said unnaturally, before that, let me sleep in the Pure Land. Obviously, the future father-in-law felt embarrassed. Okay, it's time to wake up Hong's mother with you. Zhao Yuchen is as good as a stream, and his hands are in mudra. The next moment, Yui Hong lost consciousness, and Impure World Reincarnation sank into the ground. Mr. Yuchen, what is this? Shi Hong cast a curious look. I respect the idea of my future father-in-law. Zhao Yuchen said with a smile. When your mother is resurrected together, he won't have so many worries, and some people really can't get used to his dirty body. Hearing what he said, Yui Hong nodded obediently, without further ado. At this moment, Zhao Yuchen grabbed her arm and said, also, it's a good thing tonight, I don't want to be disturbed. Shi Hong's eyes turned. Can you bear my illusion? Really? When the time comes, don't ask me to help you, Kumo. Last night, I was flipping through a new book called The Operation of Illusion Master Hong. This is a thick book. I read it in the middle of the night and savored it carefully. I found that every page was crooked and written with the words, water style full of talent, unique illusion, and famous weapon. I couldn't sleep anyway, studied carefully for a long time, consumed a lot of chakra, and finally got the answer from the cracks in the words, and Hong told me 2 words personally. Beg for mercy. Early in the morning, when all the girls woke up one after another, they were attracted by Yuchen's updated diary. There is a lot of information in it, so much that they can't stand it. Anko. Read, it's normal to be defeated, but you actually begged for mercy? Looking at the eyes. Read. Get out, I thought everyone was a monster like you. Anko. Huh? Why am I an evildoer? Yakumo. I can probably guess the reason. Teacher Hong wants to try to use your night skills to directly lower your combat power to a very low level. Anko. No, you can't use a few night skills. Read. You think I want to. But I have a special constitution. Once attacked by Yuchen, I instinctively use water-style ninjutsu to defend, which consumes chakra. Okay. Tien. Chakra is extracted from the physical strength. Sister Hong really loses a lot of physical strength in this way. Yakumo. Teacher Hong didn't lie. She not only used the illusion tree to kill her husband, but also cried when she lost. Makoto. You actually cried because of Firefly's left arm. Kushina. Seeing how charming you are, I thought you were a goblin who eats people and doesn't spit out bones. Do you want to teach you some tricks? Yui Hong. Farewell. Flashy moves are not suitable for me, and I don't need to learn them. Yuchen-kun will always like me. Samui. So confident. With such big breasts, she didn't even dare to boast about making a man obsessed with her forever. Yui Hong. I can only say that I understand everything. Anko. So, you asked Yakumo to help you last night? Yui Hong. That's not true. I wouldn't seek foreign aid for the first time I played against Yuchen. I am also a warrior who dares to face up to the dripping blood donation. Yakumo. To tell the truth, Teacher Hong fell asleep from exhaustion. Seeing that it was still early, my husband came to heal my body, and taught me to practice the unique Sage Mode practice method by the way. Anko. Ha ha ha, Hong, you are a little bitch. Yui Hong. Yes, you are amazing, you left the tadpoles there, causing Hinata to become rich. Hinata. Sister Hong. Yui Hong. Hinata sauce. Wait, remember to bring me some breakfast, okay? Black soil. As expected of a woman, her tone of voice is different. Fragrant phosphorus. I'm coming too. What does Sister Hong also eat? Yui Hong. Then I. Soy milk, seafood porridge, chicken soup and bean soup. Why do you look very anxious, and eat so much water? The next moment, the doubts in their hearts were answered because the diary was updated. A year's plan lies in spring, and the plan of the sky lies in the morning. With such a good weather, a studious person like me must humbly ask Teacher Hong for advice. Is that how you use humility to ask for advice? Azuki Shion couldn't help rolling her eyes lightly. I am afraid that what I learned here is not illusion, but ergonomics. Could it be that Hong likes to drink too much, so Chang Shui made it? Anko got up from the bed, ready to go to Yuchen's mansion. Ninja constitution is good, even if it went crazy the night before yesterday, it has fully recovered now. Night skills are not something that anyone can use for a long time. 3 Red Sisters. In the post house, Samuel found Yu Wooden Golem who was still lying in bed, and his eyes gradually became firm. Smelly cat, it's cheap for you. On the other side, Yinye's gate. After a night's flight, the Scorpion arrived successfully with the Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast. It's great, come back in the morning and go to Brother Yuchen's house for breakfast. Cheered every day. Hyuga Neji next to him pouted, expressing that he was not envious at all. Mr. Scorpion and Mr. Deidara, please wait here, Miss Conan will come to find you soon. Say hello to Scorpion and Deidara, take back the Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast every day, and prepare to leave. Scorpion's real puppet hidden under the puppet's eyes changed slightly, and his fingers moved instinctively, wanting to keep Tiantian. The Vermilion Bird Mechanism Beast, no matter its flying ability or internal structure principle, has already used Chakra's method, which makes him want to study it carefully. This is related to his pursuit and art, and there must be no compromise. But at this moment, a cold voice rang in their ears. Ching, you are here. It is Conan wearing a long white dress, with a pair of wings made of stacked paper on the back. Bye. Why are we here in Konoha in such a hurry, don't we need to investigate the immortal talisman? Deidara asked. While talking, he couldn't help but look at Conan a few more times. It's not that he has any special ideas, as an artist, he has a unique pursuit. He's just surprised now that Conan is wearing anything other than Akatsuki's uniform. It was much better than the lifeless look in the Land of Rain. The immortal talisman has been found. Conan said with a calm expression, you too will have a new task, which highly coincides with the art you want to pursue, I believe you will like it. Oh? Deidara's eyes lit up, and he asked excitedly. Could it be that the leader recognized my pursuit and decided to blow up Konoha village together? This is definitely the ultimate art. Conan. Some passers-by and Anbu ninjas around. Silent. Idiot. Suddenly, a figure flew out from behind Conan and punched Deidara with his fists. Boom. Deidara couldn't dodge in time and was thrown directly to the ground. It hurts. Deidara covered his head with one hand, but at the same time made mudra with one hand, ready to drink. Although he was not in a hurry to dodge the attack, he arranged the clay spiders along the way. But when he raised his head and saw the face of the person who beat him, his eyes twitched and he didn't detonate the clay. Black soil. Why are you in Konoha? My father and I came here as envoys, representing the establishment of diplomatic relations between Iwagakure and Konoha. Hyde put his hands on his hips and looked at Deidara domineeringly. Brother, you haven't made any progress in these years, and your words are still so incomprehensible. Huh. Deidara turned into dead fish eyes, disdainful. As long as the explosion is strong enough, what kind of conspiracy is there? You don't understand my art, eh? You are hopeless. Hyde said speechlessly, I hope Mr. Yuchen can transform you. Kuroto has always admired this grandfather who was raised as a Tsuchikage senior, and even after he became a traitor, he wanted to bring him back to Iwagakure to be the 4th Tsuchikage. However, in the process of continuous in-depth contact with Yuchen, coupled with what she saw and heard in Konoha, she suddenly realized that Deidara is just like that, still very naive. Compared with the real genius and powerhouse, it is still far away. And whether Cloud Shinobi Village will need Tsuchikage in the future remains to be seen. So now she can treat it calmly. Yuchen, who? Can you reform me? Deidara showed a haughty expression. Seeing his expression, Conan said coldly, Yuchen is my future husband. Black soil. Ox, ah. Deidara was dumbfounded, thinking that there are men who would like this cold woman. What's even more frightening is that there is a man who can subdue this cold woman. Terrible, he admired it from the bottom of his heart. The same idea also appeared in the heart of the scorpion. Dare to attack Conan and succeed, this Yuchen made him want to know. Black soil. Sisters, Sister Conan is really awesome. She actually announced in public that Yuchen is his future husband. Do you dare to believe it? Sam Yi. There is also this kind of operation, which is beyond the reach of the next generation, by Wooden Golem, a silly cat girl. By Wooden Golem. Calling the cat addicted or something. Terumi Mei. So bold. Admiration, admiration, I found that I still have something to learn. Yamanaka Ino. When I become an adult, I will play like this. Fragrant phosphorus. Can't you do it now? Hinata. Stop this dangerous thinking, don't frame Yuchen big brother. Makoto. This is what Mr. Yuchen said about people not being judged by their appearance. I didn't expect Conan to do such a thing. Conan. Since it is destined that I will become Yuchen's wife in the future, why didn't I exercise my rights and own my identity earlier? Yi Kang. The most reasonable, this is the most reasonable. Come with me. Go live in a post house. The organ beast that the scorpion wants is there, Deidara, you will soon know that the explosion you were after before is nothing but mediocre. Conan moved the paper wings behind his back and flew in one direction. Seeing this, the scorpion jumped on Deidara's white bird. Go. At the same time, Yui Hong came home. Hong is lying on the bed, lying like a puddle of mud. On the sofa next to him, Zhao Yuchen was instructing Kurama Yakumo to practice sage mode. The chakra of the two attributes attract each other, leading the natural chakra into their bodies and starting to improve their constitution. After half a quarter of an hour, Kurama Yakumo reached his physical limit and could no longer continue to practice. When Yuchen left to go to the bathroom, she was still overworked from practicing, her muscles were exhausted, and her body kept shaking. When Hong's eyes met, she let out a long sigh. Kurama Yakumo, recently, Mr. Guanong has something to say, and I would like to give you a piece of advice. Kurama Yakumo. Don't mess with my husband, or you will die and be ugly. Black soil. What's going on? People are suddenly warned. By Wooden Golem. Yes, yes, is it true that being a Yuchen woman is superior to others? Sam Yi. You are wrong. The person who is Yuchen is certainly not superior to others. By Wooden Golem. Samui. You are still a good sister, I don't blame you for disturbing my sleep in the morning. Sam Yi. How many times does it take to be superior to others, how can one wait enough? By Wooden Golem. Puff. All the girls laughed lightly. Samui is talking nonsense again. Don't talk about those invisible classes, just talk about daimyo, nobles, and even commoners, merchants, and slaves, can they be at the same level? The daimyo ruled the world together with the nobles and hidden villages, and the common people said they were the people, but in fact they were just a population that created wealth. Merchants are even more humble, they are Shiba dogs in the hands of nobles, and slaves are not even considered human beings, they are not as good as dogs. If ordinary people want to solve the leap, the easiest way is to become a ninja. Even genin, in the eyes of the common people, is also a ninja-sama, and the general nobles are polite. Ninjas who were born in the ninja clan can even talk to most nobles on an equal footing, and their subordinates also control many affiliated forces and industries. And Yuchen, who is destined to bring changes to the world, and even unify the peace, must ascend above the 5 great kingdom daimyos and 5 shadows. Wouldn't it be several times superior to be his wife? Yakumo. I said this is not to brag about my husband, he doesn't need me to brag, he is already good, I just want to tell everyone, don't be too strong when practicing sage mode with him, otherwise the end will be miserable. Anko. When it comes to double cultivation, I won't be sleepy anymore. You said just now that you have a feeling for being popular, could it be that she? Yakumo. Don't mention it, I was just affected by CHIYU, and my legs are still shaking. What do you say about the situation of the main member, Sister Hong? Red. A puddle of mud, I don't want to move a finger, waiting for Hinata to feed me. Hiss, the hearts of all the girls trembled. Is Yuchen so exaggerated? Ino. There are still minors here, can you restrain yourself a little while chatting? Black soil. We don't know as much as you do, what are you talking about here? Ino. I specifically refer to Hinata. Squinting smile. Hinata. I also played with tadpoles. Tadpoles, can you do it? Whoops, Hinata has improved. This not only did not faint, but also learned to drive. Fragrant phosphorus. I declare that from now on, there will not be a pure and clean woman in our group who has been dyed the color of brother Yuchen. What do you mean? Your brother Yuchen is a good person. What color can he have? Yellow. Tien. Shanglin, you understand puns. Tamari. Konoha is really talented in literature, I admire it. Shizun. I really want to say that Shangfos is imported, but forget it. Sam Yi. Because the facts are better than bare arguments? Sam Yi hugging her chest. Tsunade. Hee. Tsunade doesn't speak, and throws you a picture. Kushina. My sisters who are closer than my own sisters are already Makoto, Yukumo, Anko and Hong, and there are other women she doesn't know? Conan. Am I not counted? Makoto. So direct. But you don't count. If you count, Hinata and Phosphonium also count. Yukumo. They talk about the grasshoppers on the same stick again, in the same way. Hinata. Let me first take a doctor. Yi Kang. You guys are getting more and more outrageous when driving now. I don't even know how to tell Z Yuan. Fragrant phosphorus. To be honest, they will be sisters in the end anyway. By Wooden Golem. How can you say that? I'm a maverick. Azuki Shion. Don't you understand yet? From the moment you get a copy of the diary, everyone can't escape. Conan. That's right, I made a decision so quickly because of my thorough thinking. Why didn't I exercise my power as soon as possible, instead of competing with myself? By Wooden Golem. I just want to be a maverick. Black Soil. You people in Cloud Shinobi Village have the toughest mouths all over your body. Samui. Kaguya. The concubine has something to say. Don't confuse love with you. Stare with white eyes. Makoto. Oops, our ancestor of chakra, the goddess Azuki. Now we have learned how to chat with pictures, or take selfies. Puff. The girls laughed wildly. If you are a hermaphrodite, we would like to call you the strongest. Kaguya. You. Find. Die. Makoto. I am Yuchen woman. I am not afraid, it is you who should be afraid. Kushina. Kaguya, let's talk about women again. How do you get up? You are not human. Wheeze. Whoosh, Kaguya G gasped. She felt that she was wrong and shouldn't be involved. Chatting with them is lowering your status as a concubine. Don't be familiar with them, no need. Kaguya closed his eyes, calming himself down. But within a few minutes, he opened his eyes suddenly, and wanted to tear up the copy of the diary. But the result in exchange was an electric shock, and she was directly given an electric shock massage. In a daze, Kaguya saw a man with a bad smile and told her not to be stupid and seek abuse. At this moment, she suddenly thought of Yui Shion's words. Yourself. Do you want to finish? No, the concubine must quit you. This you, again very interesting. What are you two laughing at? Zhao Yuchen came out of the bathroom, looked at the dumbfounded looks of Yui Hong and Kurama Yukumo, raised his eyebrows slightly. Hearing this, Yui Hong and Kurama Yukumo immediately restrained their expressions. They don't want to be misunderstood by Yuchen as provocation. It's really going to be broken, it's going to kill people. Thinking of you, happy. Thinking of you, happy. The two women spoke in agreement. Oh. Zhao Yuchen nodded and murmured. I thought you could laugh, you should still have strength. No strength at all. Treatment should be conservative, too much damage to the body. Before Yuchen could finish speaking, Yui Hong and Yukumo quickly denied it, shaking their heads like rattles. Seeing this, Zhao Yuchen stopped teasing them and said with a smile, I'll go to Hokage's office, and let Hinata and Shanglin bring you breakfast and so on. Yeah, go. I still need to cultivate, gong bai. Yuchen nodded slightly, cast the Flying Thunder God technique and left. Call. The two women looked at each other and let out a sigh of relief. But the next moment, Zhao Yuchen suddenly appeared again and asked. I see that you shook your heads with strength just now, why not? Get out. Both women covered their heads with quilts, not to see this guy. Ha ha ha. Letting out a burst of laughter, Zhao Yuchen cast Flying Thunder God and left. The two women confirmed that this first time was true because his diary was updated. I worked so hard, but Teacher Hong couldn't guide me alone, and even asked my apprentice Yukumo for help, but he was still not my opponent. He could only sign a lot of inequality with me, It's a treaty of love. Yin-Yang Sage Mode cultivation method, as expected, still needs to be popularized, and everyone can improve their strength. Today we are going to compete with Shi Yan. It is time to give him a good lesson. Let him know what is the real sword and swordsmanship. But before that, let's go to tease first. Bah, it's about Senju Tobarama. Hey, talk well, our current teachers' mouths are all spoiled by you. Anko. Red, Yukumo, you guys are really open. Yukumo. I'm still a wounded man with the same legs and feet. Yuchen spreads his hands together. Hinata. Collect silently. Yui Hong. How did I know I would be so sensitive? As soon as I blow my ears, chakra loses control, and water-style ninjutsu is used indiscriminately, so my physical strength is exhausted quickly. Yukumo. From the perspective of others, I think that when Sister Hong was kissed on the neck, she reached that point directly. Makoto. Absolutely, you will play team battles with me in the future. I'm afraid it will only be a supplement, a pendant. Kushina. The word pendant is used vividly. Yi Kang, damn, today I'm not chatting in the diary group, but in the car. Hinata. It's still the bullet train Yuchen mentioned. Tsunade. Sisters pause for a moment, start the live broadcast. Shizune. Master Tsunade, you are really. What is live? Of course, it was Zhao Yuchen who handled the live broadcast of Senju Tobarama. Tsunade played poker all night last night. This session should have been used to catch up on sleep, but chose to use 100 Healings Mark's chakra boost. All I wanted was to get a feel for the scene. Just watch her Shizune live broadcast. Shua. At 7 o'clock in the morning, Senju Tobarama showed up at Hokage's office on time. Seeing Tsunade working at the desk, he looked a little astonished, then nodded in approval and said, Shao Gang, you've made some progress, and you actually stayed up all night working here. Diligence can make up for stupidity, you have to encourage it. Tsunade. Why'd I stay up late at work? Shizune. Master Tsunade, you were really brilliant. Tsunade. Shizune. Dark circles under the eyes, you keep them on purpose, so as to deceive second generation, right? Tsunade. Could it be that she came in a hurry and forgot to look in the mirror, so she didn't know she had dark circles, so she didn't use 100 Healings Mark to relieve it? Let's not talk about it, she is this 5th Hokage who forgets to eat and sleep. Shua. Yuchen's figure appeared in Hokage's office, coming and going without a trace just like Senju Tobarama. Yo, good morning everyone. Zhao Yuchen greeted everyone, then looked at second generation, smiled and said, Second generation, what is the talent of my apprentice, and how is his learning progress? A smile played on Senju Tobarama's mouth. This is the knowing smile that only appeared when he beat Uchiha violently in the past. Firefly's talent is really good, the affinity for water-style chakra, attribute mastery and other talents are super. Except for the amount of chakra, she can catch up with my husband in all aspects of aptitude, and she is also very easy to learn. And if the old man can guide her, her strength will improve by leaps and bounds. And the old man has entrusted my elder brother to teach Ying Ying how to learn fairy arts, and the combination of fairy arts and water style may not be able to surpass the butcher. Hearing this, Yuchen smiled and said with relief, Okay, I am very pleased that someone is like this, and when I am free, I will personally guide her. No. Senju Tobarama stretched out a finger and said, Yuchen boy. Ying Ying is not your disciple, but the old man's disciple. Last night, she officially accepted me as her teacher. Don't make a mistake in the future. What? Zhao Yuchen showed a shocked expression and said in disbelief, How could this happen? Puff. The girls started to hold back their laughter. Don't say it, if you didn't know it in advance, you wouldn't be able to tell that it was a show. It is the pride of this cold-faced man in the second generation project, so funny. Why not? Senju Tobarama folded his hands on his chest, very satisfied with Zhao Yuchen's expression at this time, and the corners of his mouth curled into an undetectable arc. Boy Yuchen. Last night I was looking through the monkey's notes, and saw a sentence written on it, Good birds choose trees to live in, and good ministers choose masters to serve, which means. It means that just like a good bird should choose a tree to live in, a wise courtier should choose a monarch to serve. Zhao Yuchen interrupted Senju Tobarama with a blank face, with 10 traces of speechlessness. This sentence is originally for me to give my lord, 5th generation, listen. My lord, 2nd generation, there is no need to doubt that any words you see in old monkey's notebook that can reflect culture are from my mouth. He just copied them and prepared to pretend when he can give a speech sometime. Old monkey is known as Dr. Ninja, but he has dabbled in and understood all ninjutsu forbidden technique, miscellaneous but not good, just average. All his life, he relied on the words where the leaves of the trees dance, the fire will never cease, and the words, the will of fire, to Hiroto. Senju Tobarama was speechless, and scolded the 18th generation of Sarutobi Hiruzen's ancestors again in his heart. Well, He checked Sarutobi Hiruzen's notebook, wanting to see what other shady deeds this villain had done, and unexpectedly found many words containing life philosophy. He suddenly felt that this disciple was not that unbearable, at least he lived a long time, read a lot, and had a lot of knowledge. He is going to use the disciple's words to pretend, which can also prove that he is not ignorant of teaching his disciples. Who knew that idiot would actually be a copywriter? Bad guys, bad guys. Well now, he was beaten. However, it can be seen from this that Yuchen was furious at being robbed of his apprentice by him. In general, he still earns, Kashina. Puff haha, the adults of second generation will not be able to do it right away, die of laughter, come on Nai. Sam Yi. In terms of culture, the total ninja world is not enough to beat Yuchen, and everyone has to call him the strongest. Terumi Mei. What a charming man, people can't help. Xianglin. I can't help it. As expected of the original 5th Mizukage, it's even worse than Sister Yui Hong. Terumi Mei. Sunset Red. Good guys, it's just that you don't like the kindergarten car, now it's a high speed? Hinata. Ino-chan, I told you not to tell Xianglin about the 18 prohibitions, she was. Shi Yan. It really is Ino, look at what kind of atmosphere you have induced, today weeding is mainly in your charge. Ino. I am wronged, I just gave Xianglin a few copies of the 18 forbidden comics, she became like this because she is self-taught, what is the matter with her? Ino. Hinata-chan, I hate you. Yui Hong. Threatening me to learn Hinata? Shi Yan. Hinata. It's okay, Sister Hong. This time it's really my tongue, and I won't do it in the future. Shi Yan. Look how sensible Hinata is, Ino, you are responsible for weeding today. God, the earth. Why am I so miserable? Ino looked mad and speechless. Good, first. Hinata, who was preparing the dishes, showed a soft smile. At the same time, Zhao Yuchen saw that Senju Tobarama was silent, and said calmly, second generation, there are 2 sentences after this sentence, which are called a good talent chooses a wife to marry, and a good teacher chooses a man to pass on. Excellent teachers must find suitable ones to leave behind, which is a great contribution. So you want to be Yingying's teacher, I don't understand. As long as you can understand. Senju Tobarama forced himself to be calm. Zhao Yuchen nodded, and then changed the topic. So, second generation wants you to kill my disciple, right? Senju Tobarama restrained his slight smile, and forced himself to be calm. You also know that besides the forbidden technique, this old man is the strongest in water style. Even Kirigakure Mizukage is not as good as this old man. Hotaru is very suitable to inherit my mantle, isn't it? Yeah. Zhao Yuchen nodded, and then said, so, second generation, are you going to kill my disciple? The corner of Senju Tobarama's mouth twitched slightly, and continued, as a second Hokage, I can develop better with Hotaru, and even learn forbidden technique. So, second generation, are you intercepting my disciple? You are still young, you have time to find more suitable disciples, and you are busy with affairs, and you have to make contributions to Konoha. The old man is alone, so it is more suitable to teach Hotaru, isn't it? So, second generation, are you cutting off my disciple? You don't know how to use Sage Mode, I can ask my elder brother to teach Sage Mode, praying to God is the best choice. Zhao Yuchen nodded heavily. Indeed, it is very appropriate for Yingying to worship second generation as a teacher. With the guidance of the strongest water-style teacher, someone who teaches Sage Mode, and the contacts of the Senju family and the contacts of the Hokage family, anyone who has not asked to be a Hokage is qualified. Even if Yuchen, as a teacher, is definitely not as suitable as Senju Tobarama, he is also rare. Call. Seeing the approving expression on Zhao Yuchen's face, Senju Tobarama breathed a sigh of relief and wiped off the sweat that didn't exist. Finally convinced him. But the next moment, the corner of his mouth twitched. So, second generation, you intercepted my brother? Senju Tobarama. Silent. Tsunade. Ha ha ha, absolutely, the second grandpa's expression is absolutely perfect. The grievances of being disciplined by him are directly evacuated, cool, it has to be Yuchen. Shizune. Master Tsunade, please put it down, it's okay to laugh in the group, if Nidem finds you laughing, you will be educated again. Yui Hong. Oops, my wounds from laughing are all cracked. Karama Yakumo. I can't breathe when I laugh. Terumi Mei. The most amazing thing is Yuchen. One sentence made second generation feel as if he was going down a mountain, and he expressed his acceptance. By Wooden Golem. It was so much fun, I will do the same with fourth Raikage next time. Samui. Then you may be beaten to death. By Wooden Golem. That's not necessarily the case, he may not be able to beat me now. Samui. Oh? It seems that it is very good that you got the magic blessing in the early morning. By Wooden Golem. That is, the chakra attribute can be infinitely integrated today, and one can be finally retained after today. Hiss, the girls were startled. By Wooden Golem or two Jinchuriki, themselves chakra attribute only fire. But if she can merge infinitely, it means that she can experience all kinds of blood successor boundaries related to the fire attribute today, such as scorch style, and blood successor elimination, such as dust escape. In the end, if only one item could be kept. Black soil. Combining the wind attribute and the earth attribute, wouldn't you be able to have my grandfather's blood successor to eliminate the dust escape? By Wooden Golem. There is already a technique, by Wooden Golem. Black soil. Envious, magic blessings can still be like this, I really want it. Fragrant phosphorus. I knew that using magic blessings well is also a king bomb, after all, I have Jonin strength now. Kushina. From this point of view, it is only mentioned 10 times by Yuchen, which is not bad luck and very fragrant. By Wooden Golem. Cats have 9 lives, luck is always good, proud. Sam Yi? So, you plan to keep the dust escape? By Wooden Golem. That's not true. Although dust escape is very fragrant, 9 tails is even more fragrant. I plan to find Naruto to integrate the original chakra of 9 tails, so that Matabi can also have the chakra nature of 9 tails, as well as its own fire attribute and various class of special abilities. Kushina. Kurama cried and fainted in the Naruto seal, got it. Samui. In this regard, you are indeed exceptionally smart, so choose this one. 9 tails is recognized as the strongest, the most important thing is that they can practice sage mode and keep growing and absorbing chakra. If Matabi can do the same, I am afraid that it will surpass 8 tails and 9 tails in the future and become the #1 tail beast. By Wooden Golem. When the time comes, first help Matabi beat Shuhei. Tamari. Don't hurt the innocent, Gaara is already miserable. By Wooden Golem. Jinchuriki has the violent beating style of Jinchuriki, peace of mind. Makoto. What do you think Yuchen will ask of second generation? Samui. If I were Yuchen, I would definitely not mention it myself. Azuki Shion. That's right, let the second generation project raise itself to maximize the benefits. Conan. However, Yuchen will definitely mention it by himself, and it is just right. The girls frowned. At the same time, Zhao Yuchen saw that Tobarama's face was livid, and he stopped playing and sighed. Second generation, I understand the truth of what you said. But it's indisputable that you robbed me of my disciple. In the future, I will lose a disciple who can make me look good, right? Yes. Senju Tobarama disdainfully denied. Then I want to add something, is it reasonable? You say. Simple. Zhao Yuchen smiled and said, I want to learn the dark walk technique and the tandem paper bombs technique, and when you teach Firefly, I will send 5 shadow clones to listen in, so let it go. That's it. Senju Tobarama frowned. Don't look at dark walk technique, tandem paper bombs technique, and his unique water style, which are all forbidden techniques, but with Yuchen's status and achievements, it is only a matter of looking at the sealed book to learn. And with his talent of being able to learn even Flying Thunder God and Impure World Reincarnation, it is easy to learn the other 2, and it doesn't matter to listen in. They're all my own people. For the sake of 5th generation, I can't go too far. Yuchen shrugged. Okay. Senju Tobarama readily agreed. Black soil. This is too little, Sister Conan is right. Anko. Why? You can ask for more, right? Conan. No, from the very beginning, Yuchen was playing, not second Hokage, and he would never count on second Hokage. Otherwise, it would not be the Yuchen we know. Conan. Let me tell you a little bit first. Do you think that with the wisdom of second generation, after you calm down, you will not realize that you have been said by Mr. Yuchen? Hearing this, all the girls were shocked. Second Hokage is the creator of the Ambu system, the ninja school system, which has been used by all hidden villages to learn from it. In addition, he also appointed the Uchiha family as the Konoha garrison. On the surface, it is to separate power and importance, but in fact it lays the groundwork for the Uchiha families in popularity, which can play a monitoring role, and it also separates the Uchiha family and Uchiha Madara. As long as Hokage is capable enough, the Uchiha clan will never become a threat to Konoha. People like this can't see their calculations now due to various reasons, but what about afterward? Samui. It is impossible not to find out. Conan. That's right. Then what do you think if Mr. Yuchen really took this opportunity to open his mouth? What would second generation think after realizing it? Shizune. There must be some estrangement, if it is plotting against the enemy, no matter how much it goes too far, it can be explained. Conan. In addition, think again about Hotaru, whether she knows about it or not. do you think second generation will have any ideas? Samui. That's right, it will also cause a gap between the master and the apprentice. Originally, the second generation was injured by the old monkey. Ino. From this point of view, whether it is from the standpoint of a companion or for the sake of Hotaru, it is impossible for Yuchen Big Brother to really plot against Master Second Generation, unless he is purely egoistic. Conan. Finally, don't look at Tsunade-ji smiling so happily now, but if Yuchen-kun really speaks indiscriminately, what will she think after she calms down? Shizune. I have pity on my second grandfather, this man doesn't care about me at all. Is that so? Tsunade. Shizune, who wants you to imitate me, bah, is it why me? Yoho, the lost tree really has a spring heart. Static tone. I'm sorry, Master Tsunade, just when you get excited. But Mr. Yuchen will definitely pay attention to Master Tsunade's emotions. Conan. To sum up, Yuchen must not do such a thing, he is such a man. Conan. Take a look at second generation, Yuchen just wants to win. Even if second generation realizes it afterwards, it will only be regarded as a joke, and it will be passed away every day. Yes. All the girls smiled knowingly. Being cruel to enemies and being kind to one's own people, this is the Yuchen they know. And Senju Tobarama is naturally his own, let alone Tsunade-ji's second grandfather. Black soil. If you don't think about it, you don't know, but if you think about it carefully, this man is awesome. Tamari. This kind of man is not available yet, he is either a fool or a fool. Samui. In our group, there should be no one who is so stupid as Wooden Golem, a prostitute who goes out, right? By Wooden Golem. I'm whoring for nothing, I just like it, I just play. Sam Yi. Get out of the group, hurry up. Terumi Mei. Samui. I want to say that you are not the most stubborn? Samui. After all, I am also Cloud Shinobi. Smile. Terumi Mei. You are not hiding it at all. Samui. What are you covering up? It looks like I am superior to others, but in fact I am as stupid as a cat. By Wooden Golem. How stupid are cats? Samui, stupid, lowering the average IQ of cats. Speaking of which, at Conan, I didn't expect you to see people's hearts so clearly. Conan. It's not that I can see people's hearts, I just like to see things by their essence. Because I know what kind of person Yuchen is, and I know what he will do, that's all. Conan. As for your wrong guess, maybe it was an overinterpretation. Maybe Yuchen didn't think so much, just doing what he wanted. Female. This woman is so profound. To be precise, it is very transparent. Look at him. Samui glanced at Wooden Golem with disgust. The woman is stretching in an odd position. It is said that cats are actually liquid creatures, and Jinchuriki, the cat demon, is no exception. There are probably the most poses that can be made, and there are all kinds of strange things. What are you looking at? Wooden Golem said indifferently. People see clearly and make choices. Do I have to learn? We are different individuals, have different personalities, and can make different choices. Hearing this, Samuel felt as if he had been struck by lightning, and then he suddenly showed a smile. Yes, sometimes even if you know the answer in advance, you may not make a choice. For example, Yui Hong chose to stay away from Sarutobi Asuma. Those women who have a copy of the diary may not be able to escape the result of being with Yuchen in the end. It doesn't mean you have to lie down like Conan and start enjoying the results directly. Or, like by Wooden Golem, choose to enjoy the process. Understood, then you can experience the process well. With a light pat on Wooden Golem's buttocks, Samui turned and walked to the closet next to him. What you do? Can't tell. Change clothes. If you don't go back to your room to change your clothes, why change mine? My size is too small for you. It's better to be small in size, it's better for your figure, isn't it? Aren't you wearing clothes, are you planning to seduce a man? So many women in Yuchen belong to Konoha, I have to work hard for Cloud Shinobi Village. Hypocrisy, you are obviously doing it for yourself. Hypocrisy is my choice, as is yours. Putting on the clothes with difficulty almost broke, Samuel, who was slightly flushed, smiled, turned around and said, I'm going to Mr. Yuchen to have breakfast, goodbye. She quickly disappeared in the doorway and closed the door. This woman is really shameless, she's calm, she's cool, she's just sultry, Wooden Golem complained. In her sealed space, Matabi couldn't help saying, Wooden Golem, you are envious. I envy her. It's hard to walk. I'm not talking about breasts, I'm talking about Yuchen. You have always been so arrogant, and I don't know how long you can bear it. Damn it, isn't it all your fault? A strange flush appeared on Wooden Golem's complexion. Cats have estrus period, and when they are in estrus, they don't need any dignity. As a tailed beast, Matabi will naturally not be dominated by this biological instinct, except for one situation. Love the taste of chakra. Once he meets his favorite chakra scent, Matabi will start to heat like a male cat asking the female cat's scent, and wants to perform a chakra fusion. Matabi has never had this kind of situation all the time, causing her to forget that there is such a thing. Until I met Yuchen. God knows how much Matabi wanted to pounce on Yuchen. And Matabi's chakra, and her 2 chakras from wooden golem are shared, which causes that strange state to share and affect her as well. Now because Yuchen is not present, and she is the passive party, so now I can control this emotion. But as time went by, or she kept in touch with Yuchen, she felt that one of her things was about to break. Damn it, you won't be laughed to death by Samuel and the others. Matabi. You were actually arrogant. Long-winded, it's all your fault. Okay, my fault, but when do you? Shut up. Shut up and shut up, then I will secretly release chakra, see how long you can bear it. At the same time, in Hokage's office, the atmosphere became harmonious again. In fact, Senju Tobarama was still a little upset, after all, being manipulated by Yuchen, a junior, in front of his own granddaughter Tsunade. Suddenly, he thought of something, a smile flashed in his eyes, and he asked Tsunade, Shao Gang, I remember that the Chunin exam will be held in our Konoha village soon? That's right. Didn't Yuchen tell you that he wanted to hold a resurrection meeting at that time and beat the hidden villages? Tsunade nodded. Then Yuchen, remember to sign up now. Senju Tobarama said to Yuchen earnestly. The dignified Hokage assistant is actually Genin, isn't it good? Zhao Yuchen. Girls who are about to stop watching Tsunade live. Kushina. Is there a saying that if you don't work, you won't die? Makoto. I have a hunch that there will be a famous scene. Ino. 2nd generation, you are so damn competitive. Tsunade. It's hopeless, so anxious to get back to the scene, 100% cold. Terumi Mei. What's the matter with my anticipation? Female. It's not a big deal if you call it watching the fun. 2nd generation, you mean to let me take the Chunin exam and raise my grade? Zhao Chen frowned. Yeah. Senju Tobarama nodded. Otherwise, when the 5 shadows meet, your ninja level will definitely be used as a weapon of attack. You can't prove yourself by beating them first, can you? Why not? Zhao Yuchen really wanted to say something, but he didn't do so. Instead, he said with bright eyes, Master 2nd generation, you are right, Genin is serving as Hokage's assistant, it really doesn't sound good. Senju Tobarama's expression was stiff. He argued for what he wanted, and then he spoke earnestly. Why is Yuchen so obedient? It seems that he is very hateful. But now I can only continue to talk along the scalp. Now that you know, then I will resign as Hokage's assistant. Zhao Yuchen smiled and said, if you are not competent, then you are not competent. Senju Tobarama. Tsunade. Ladies. Greater than W less than. It's a mess, it's in the arms of others, ha ha ha. Tsunade interrupted the atmosphere with a big laugh, and said, Yuchen, don't be joking, let's talk about resignation. Then, she said to Senju Tobarama, Second grandpa, with Yuchen's merits and abilities, it's no problem to be promoted to a special Jonin. With a little experience and a few tasks, you can be promoted to a Jonin. What do you think? Senju Tobarama coughed lightly and said, although it's not good to do this in non-wartime, but for special talents, we must treat them specially, just do as you say. Wait a moment. Hearing what the two said, Zhao Yuchen immediately interrupted with his hand, and said seriously, 2nd generation, are you looking down on Genin? Laughing, really laughing, Tobarama actually looks down on Konoha Genin. Do you know the gold content of Konoha Genin? What's wrong with Konoha Genin, is it a little more leathery? I'm not looking down on Genin, but hierarchy is hierarchy. Genin, even if there are very few outstanding people, if they cannot improve, it must be due to insufficient overall quality, otherwise they would have been Chunin, or especially Jonin. As the assistant of Hokage, the level of Genin is not worthy of you. Senju Tobarama didn't understand why Yuchen suddenly cared about the Genin level, but he still spoke his mind. Yeah. Zhao Yuchen smiled slightly, and suddenly stretched out a finger and said, next, don't resist. As he spoke, he performed ninjutsu with seals. This move is called passing on perception. You can use perception to lock the location of surrounding enemies and the situation of the chakra branch, etc., and then put your hands on other people's heads to share the perception screen, which belongs to the secret art of the Yamanaka family. However, with Zhao Yuchen's current amount of chakra and Otsutsuki constitution, he can already share perception images in a certain direction, as well as some images that he thinks of in his mind. At the end of the 4 great ninja world wars, Naruto conveyed his thoughts to all fans through Ino's ninjutsu and Nine Tails chakra. Next, please enjoy a short video. Zhao Yuchen began to recall a short time he had seen in his previous life. The clip was titled, "You can fight when you meet Konoha Jonin, and you can run away directly when you meet Konoha Genin." These pictures will naturally involve a little spoiler for the future, but Zhao Yuchen doesn't care. One is that he does not rely on plot advantages to rise, and having a diary is destined to be invincible in the future. Secondly, because of his existence, these plots will no longer happen. Some information revealed that he didn't care, anyway, it didn't matter. In the next moment, Shizune, Senju Tobarama and Tsunade had a lot of images in their minds. Yuchen also recorded in the diary at the same time. Konoha Genin is awesome. First of all, Kosuke Maruhoshi, known as 10,000 Years Genin, has been reluctant to be promoted due to special reasons. He was personally taught water-style ninjutsu by 2nd Hokage Senju Tobarama, and shadow clone shuriken technique by 3rd Hokage himself, and performed missions with 4th Hokage, and his comprehensive strength far exceeds that of common Jonin, but he is willing to be a Genin bastard, and often temporarily replaces some teams when there is a shortage of people, acting as a cook. This Maru star Kosuke has a good personality, and he has a deep connection with the 3 Hokages. No wonder Zhao Yuchen said yesterday that he would ask him to teach Ying, he really has this ability. It's no wonder that Senju Tobarama especially remembers this man, who seems to be a civilian ninja with some talent. But such a Genin is not enough to make Zhao Yuchen favor Konoha Genin, right? In the original trajectory, Sasuke saw Orochimaru's strength during the Chunin exam, and after his strength was overtaken by Naruto who followed Jiraiya's practice, he couldn't stand the stimulation and Uchiha Itachi's ridicule and defected to Konoha. At that time, Tsunade sent Jonin to chase after him, but Kidomaru, a group of 4 Itonin, approached from left and right, Tayuya and Jirobo stopped them, and the 4 together could cast the 4 purple flame formation. Although the process was a bit difficult, they at least succeeded in making the Yi Jonin group lose their combat effectiveness. As a result, Tsunade dispatched Choji, Inuzuka, Shikamaru, Neji and Naruto to pursue them. In a one-on-one situation, even if the 4-person team turned on the spell seal 2 state, similar to Sage Mode, relatively low level, they still couldn't beat the fight the Konoha village Genin. Female. The combination of Konoha Jonin and Zhenshui and several Genins performed very well. The Itonin 4 in the Curse Seal 2 state almost all have the strength of elite Jonin. To be able to win a single duel, even if it is a desperate way, their strength is definitely worthy of recognition. But that doesn't mean much. Akamichi Choji, Hyuga Neji, Inuzuka Kiba, and Hyuga Neji are all members of the Konoha tribe. They received elite training since they were young, and after a short burst of Jonin strength, it is not impossible for them to kill an elite Jonin who is a little bit lucky. This does not mean that Genin is stronger. The next one must be solemnly recorded, because he is the father of Emperor Guy who was almost kicked out of the finale, and even Uchiha Madara who became 10 Tails Jinchuriki was almost killed in seconds. Seeing this message, the pupils of the girls shrank. Almost brought up the finale with one kick, even Uchiha Madara who became 10 Tails Jinchuriki was almost killed in seconds. Konoha still has such people. Yui Hong. Mr. Yuchen called him Emperor Guy, and his father is Might Guy, so it is Might Guy, a guy who specializes in physical skills. Anko. Guy, a weird guy who likes to pass on green onesies, is he so strong? Azuki Shion. I know a little bit about this. Might Guy's father, Might Dai, will get the 8 inner gates technique that was passed down a long time ago, perfect it and practice it successfully. Now this is also the main physical skill that Might Guy practices. It can make chakra skyrocket, but the body burden is very heavy, and the average person's constitution is afraid that if they open the 3rd gate or above, they will die of exhaustion directly. Azuki Shion. I heard that Might Guy can now open the 6th gate without much side effects. Opening the 7th gate is still a drag, but he can open the 8th gate by gritting his teeth. All the girls understand. Might Guy's 8 inner gates technique is not easy to practice. It doesn't mean that you have the determination to open a few gates or even use it with the determination to die. You have to have enough stamina to perform it. On the premise of having enough stamina to use it, the power of the soaring chakra blessing is self-evident. Kaguya. 8 inner gates technique. If someone can practice enough to open the 8th gate, even if the concubine does not dare to resist, but still cannot kill the concubine, and the time to open the gate of death is extremely short, but it is burn your own forbidden technique. Tsunade. But at least it shows that he has the strength to intimidate 6 paths. Guy Emperor Cowhide. Night Guy. Screenshot. Terumi Mei. As this. A picture of the future? Hinata. In Yuchen's words, it should be an animation clip, but it can also be understood as a future picture. Tien. Mr. Guy is a man. If this kick is aimed at Uchiha Madara's head, it will really end, right? Kaguya. Reincarnation Sharingan. It seems that Black Zetsu has indeed succeeded in the future, but the concubine doesn't care anymore. Samui. Tsunade, why do you have such a picture? Shizune. Mr. Yuchen passed it on to us. It is not comprehensive, only a few fragments. Black Soil. Envious, I also want to see the future. By Wooden Golem. So how strong is this might wearing? Terumi Mei. I suddenly have a bad feeling. At this time, Yuchen's diary was updated again. Even the three of Senju Tobarama also saw new pictures. In the early stage of the Third Ninja World War, Kirigakure's first batch of 7 ninja swordsmen, Loquat Jukura, Suiguyama Puffer Ghost, Munashi Hachi, Sukusa Yebeto, Kuri Sara Kushimaru, and Black Ho Reiba were ordered to attack Kirigakure Leaf. These 7 people teamed up. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo may not be able to fight, and one of them may have to be sacrificed. However, the 7 happened to meet the young guy, Shiranui Genma, and Ebisu outside the village. When they were about to kill them, they met Might Dai, who rushed to the scene in time. Might Dai is called Konoha 10,000 Years Genin. Because he only knows physical skills, he was not entrusted with the important task by the old monkey Sarutobi Hiruzen. He had already cultivated 8 inner gates to a very high level at that time. In order to protect his son, he directly exploded the small universe, cross-cutting, it is directly erupting 8 gate. After a great battle, Might Dai sacrificed his life, and the 7 people suffered heavy casualties. Among them, Loquat Shizang, Ziguashan Puffer Ghost, and Heihei Leia barely escaped. They were frightened and refused to return to the village and rebelled. Tolerance, the other 4 were killed directly. So, don't underestimate any genin from Konoha, or you will be surprised. Hiss. The girls were shocked. Terumi Mei. Good guy, I call it good guy, my Kirigakure hurts. Yui Hong. Died at the hands of Guy's father, Shi Ren did not lose. Azuki Shion. Konoha is at a loss, and I really want to change my life. Might Dai should be able to give Kirigakure an opponent. Terumi Mei. Let's not talk about it, it hurts my feelings, it's all over. Kushina. The old monkey is really bad. Might wear this strength even if he is not judged as a jonin, especially a jonin is definitely good. The most important thing is that he blocked the ninja swords and died. He made such a contribution to the ninja world. He did not spread the word. Tsunade. Heroes shouldn't be like this. When the time comes to see if Yuchen can bring Might back to life, I want to commend his achievements by the way. Makoto. Speaking of which, I have a bold idea, if impure world reincarnation is paired with 8 inner gates. Ladies. Absolutely, isn't Kaguya unable to bear it? Kaguya. Ridiculous, with a body of dust, can you open 8 inner gates? At most, the 3rd gate will collapse on its own. Well, I really thought too much. The last and most important 2 people have too many deeds and not many records. Uchiha Sasuke, the existence of 6 paths level strength, roamed the ninja world after the 4th ninja war, searched for information about the Otsutsuki clan, and secretly protected the world. Genin. Naruto, promoted directly from Genin to 7th Hokage, but who dares to underestimate it? But after becoming Hokage, Naruto's strength dropped a lot. So, in Konoha, 10,000 Years Genin is the strongest, followed by Shadow, and then others. If I am always Genin in the future, I can also be counted in this list. I don't change anyway, what if it's the law of cause and effect? Squinting smile. Is it too late to change the level now? There was a moment of silence in Hokage's office. After a while, Tobarama asked, is this a fragment of the past in the future? Yeah. Zhao Yuchen nodded. 2nd generation can instantly become a special ability, just like Mount Myoboku's Toad Ball. Senju Tobarama nodded. No wonder you know that. Then he asked. If Might Guy had kicked Madara in the head, would he have died? As expected of you, 2nd generation, the focus never deviates. There is a high probability that it will. After all, even Sage of 6 Paths and Otsutsuki Hamura will die, which shows that 10 Tails Jinchuriki is not immortal, but powerful. That seems like an accuracy practice for Guy. Senju Tobarama said seriously. Later, he said, actually, strictly speaking, before I became 2nd Hokage, I was also a genin. Zhao Yuchen. Grandpa, you're so funny. Tsunade smiled half-heartedly. She really didn't expect that Senju Tobarama could tell bad jokes. I'm telling the truth. Senju Tobarama crossed his arms and said solemnly, before Big Brother and Madara joined forces to quell the troubled times and create a hidden village, most ninjas existed in the form of ninjas. If there are national daimyos and nobles who assign tasks, they will also spend money to hire a ninja to do it. Back then, My Senju clan was friendly with the Uzumaki clan, and the Hyuga clan was friendly with the Takitori clan. All clans had connections, but the Uchiha clan had no friends. The Senju clan's initial mission competitor was the Yuya clan. The biggest employer of this family came to our Senju clan because of several mission failures. The Yuya clan has held grudges ever since and started a war with our Senju clan. After the Yuya clan fell, they attached themselves to the Uchiha clan. From then on, they became enemies with my Senju clan and became the biggest competitor, even the enemy. At that time, ninjas also had the sayings Genin, Chunin, and Jonin, which were handed down from the ninja sect in Legendary to distinguish the strength of ninjas. It was not until the establishment of Yinkun that the position of shadow was established. Later, it gradually became a kind of strength assessment. As for the formalization of ninja, it was after I created the ninja school system that there were 4 levels of 27, Genin, Chunin, Special Jonin, and Jonin, and the Chunin exam needs to take the Chunin exam, while Special Jonin and Jonin need shadow appointments. No longer only value strength, but also cultural knowledge. So I have the strength beyond the ordinary shadow, but the ninja level is still Genin in the strict sense. Including Big Brother and Madara, it's the same. Tsunade. Ah, yes. 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 Both you and Grandpa, Uchiha Madara are 10,000 years Genin. Are Konoha 10,000 years Genin Cowhide? Kushina. If Mr. Yuchen said so, I remember that although Uchiha Obito was a Chunin when he died, he was actually only promoted temporarily during the war, and he still needs to pass the Chunin written test before he can be officially appointed, so he can be considered a Genin. Kurama Yukumo. With my current strength, ordinary Jonin can kill without intention, and I am also from Genin? Fragrant Phosphorus. Although I joined Konoha, as a Yuchen Big Brother maid, I will definitely not be able to be promoted through the normal channels in the future, but I will be 10,000 years Genin. Conan. I debuted as the leader of the Akatsuki organization, and I have not been officially awarded a ninja rating. If you join Konoha because of Yuchen-kun, it must be Genin, right? Yi Kang. If you say that, it's not too much for me to change the school and start from Genin again? Samui. Very good, you have opened our minds. As Cloud Shinobi Jonin, it is not too much for me to be a Kenobi Genin. Terumi Mei. Understood. In the future, when you meet Hokage, you can fight. When you meet Jonin, you can casually. When you meet Chunin, you can kill randomly. When you meet Genin, you can run away. Tsunade. Hey, don't mess around, won't there be a bunch of Genin on the shadows? Makoto. The fact is, Naruto has become a shadow from Genin, and his strength has even regressed. Puff. All the girls couldn't help laughing. Although I know that Yuchen is playing tricks, and that Kosuke Maruhoshi might die, Naruto and Sasuke are special cases that are rare in a century, I still think it is fun. The most important thing is that Senju Tobirama is actually a fun character. He revealed and said that Senju Tobirama Uchiha Madara is also Genin. That Konoha Genin is really awesome, as long as you are happy with the second generation project. I don't need a ninja rating. As long as you can't talk about it, no one will talk about it. Zhao Yuchen shrugged, he actually thought it was a hassle to go through the process, so it was fine. Because it won't be long before the ninja sect created by Sage of Six Paths will be changed by him. And the rating of ninjas is bound to change. That's okay, I'll go first. It's still on vacation. After greeting the 3 of them, Zhao Lycan cast Flying Thunder God and left. First, I went home to have breakfast, and chatted and joked with the girls, plain and funny, making people laugh. After the end, everyone dispersed to do their own things, and Zhao Yuchen left with Azuki Shion. The 2 were going to the back mountain to find a field training ground to fight, which is referred to as field battle. However, when passing by Konoha prison, Azuki Shion suddenly stopped, and asked an Anbu member in doubt, Tianzing, what's wrong with him? This member of Anbu, code-named Tianzing, is escorting a person, apparently to be sent to prison. And the person being escorted was none other than Moonlight Gale. Tenzo, Yamato. Zhao Yuchen rested his chin on one hand, and looked at Anbu with a cat mask with great interest. Shion Jonin. Yamato and Shion clearly knew each other, and they nodded as greetings. He didn't hide anything about Azuki Yuyan's question, and said directly, Clean Room colluded with Orochimaru to participate in the collapse of Konoha project, and it has been confirmed by the torture department. I am responsible for sending him to the ninja prison and imprisoned for life. However, he escaped through escape, and his body was seriously overdrawn. According to the medical ninja's examination, he should not survive half a month. Hearing this, Azuki Shion was slightly taken aback, and asked in surprise, he betrayed Konoha and colluded with Orochimaru? There is such a thing. Yuchen also looked very surprised, and took a deep look at Moonlight Gale. If he remembered correctly, Moonlight Gale was the first victim of Konoha's collapse plan. Because I overheard Yukushi Kabuto and Baki talking about attacking Konoha during the reconnaissance mission, I was forced to fight Baki on the roof. Although I hit Baki on the shoulder, he was blocked by the latter with special abilities, and then killed with the Blade of Wind die. Netizens in the previous life jokingly said that Haifeng Chuan dies first. How did such a person who died because of Konoha's collapse plan now become his own colluding with Orochimaru? If he didn't know Tsunade's character, he would have wondered if this was a means to eradicate dissidents. Hokage Ninja, later called Hokage Ninja Shippuden. Those who didn't know thought that the protagonist of the story was a ninja called Shippuden. Maybe this is the reason, so people often ridicule Shippuden to die first, Moonlight Hayate, to give way to Prince Naruto. Funny face. Because of this reason, I have an impression of Haifeng. It is reasonable to say that I will lead someone to deal with Orochimaru in advance, so that he can avoid the fate of being killed because he overheard the conversation between Baki and Yukushi Kabuto. As a result, now, he has actually become Orochimaru's person, and he is about to become cold because of excessive use of penetration. The strange things in the ninja world have increased again, but I am no longer surprised. The girls thought that Zhao Yuchen and Azuki Shion were going on a date, and the diary would not be updated very diligently, but they didn't expect that there would be a movement after they broke up. After reading the content, all the women didn't care, but some women were overjoyed. Azuki Shion. Sisters, this is good news. Anko. Yui Hong. I remember correctly, your relationship with Yu Guangaifeng was not bad before. Why is the news good? Azuki Shion. I'm not saying that it's good news that Yu Guangalifeng is about to die. He betrayed Konoha, and it was verified that he died. I don't feel anything. At most, I feel a little sorry that my former classmate went astray. Azuki Shion. I mean the good news is that there are variables other than us, as if Sarutobi Asuma is unwilling to be the team leader Jonin and must go out to perform high-risk tasks. Shizune. Understood, the more this happens, Yuchen Lacrosse will not doubt that we can see the diary. Terumi Mei. If you want me to say, you think too much, what do you care about? Kushina. Of course it was because Yuchen thought we were using her. Makoto. It's gone, don't be in the water, I'm going to practice, and strive to punch Kaguya-ji, kick Otsutsuki as soon as possible. Kaguya. You want to fart? Whoops, Goddess Guan Shenyue finally swears. Makoto. Laughing to death, you have done a great job, and you are still superior to others. Fragrant Phosphorus. Ha ha ha, it's so interesting to watch. By Wooden Golem. Forgive my unkind smile. All the girls looked like they were holding back their laughter. Hinata. Interesting is interesting, but is it not good to bully an old man who has been sealed for thousands of years? The smiles of the girls stopped abruptly. You say that, we really don't seem to have any conscience. And Kaguya-ji was also in a depressed mood. She doesn't like the term, old man. But Hinata, a descendant with white eyes, is speaking for her, and she is the only one in the group. In a word, all the girls were silent. But at this moment, Yu Guangaifeng heard Azuki Shion's voice and looked up weakly. Shi-yan. Yu Guangaifeng showed a panicked look on his face. He didn't want his embarrassing side to be seen. But the next moment, he felt a pain in his heart, so painful that he couldn't breathe. Because Azuki Shion looked at him with disgust and disgust. Tianzing, then I won't disturb you. Nodding to Yamato, Azuki Shion turned her head and smiled at Yuchen. Let's go. For a traitor who is willing to fall and colludes with Orochimaru, she has nothing but disgust or indifference. Especially after Yuchen learned that Moonlight Gale was originally in the hands of Baki, and it can be said that he died because of Orochimaru, it was even more ridiculous to think of his deeds. But her normal behavior greatly stimulated Yu Guangale. Sunset face. Moonlight Gale clenched his teeth so hard that his gums were about to bleed. He hated himself for the sake of Azuki Shion, so he wanted to rely on Danzo and Orochimaru to deal with third Hokage, which led to this end, but she didn't lie to him. He hates, and he can get everything he wants with Yuchen. Why, he has done so much for this woman, yet she flirts with Yuchen. Since I don't live long, you must die too. Moonlight Gale yelled loudly, and blood suddenly came out from all over his body. Immediately afterwards, his body suddenly disappeared, invisible to the naked eye. Not good. Yamato's expression changed, but now it's too late to use wood style to control people. He can only speak to remind. Careful. Responding to him was Yuchen, who suddenly turned around and threw out a strange long wulu. Stab. The long sword pierced through the air, and a ray of light bloomed. Seeing this scene, Azuki Shion was immediately infatuated. What? What is this? Stab. The sword light flashed, and at a position 3 meters away from Mao Yue Xian, a blood flower bloomed. Blood sprayed out, scattered all around, soaking a void. A figure appeared and was carried by the long sword and flew upside down for more than 10 meters. Boom. Until a big hole was hit on a rock wall, the body finally stopped. Uyuxi Yan, feather dust. Moonlight Gale looked at Zhao Yuchen and Azuki Xian with disbelief and hatred. But I saw the former half sideways, maintaining the movement of throwing the long sword, without looking at him directly. And he wanted to drag Yui Xian who was buried with him, but he didn't even look at him the whole time, and was looking at Zhao Yuchen with admiration and admiration. Spit out a mouthful of blood again, Moonlight Gale's neck crooked and he dies immediately, dying unrepentantly. Yamato came to him, looked at him like this, and shook his head secretly in his heart. According to the investigation of the torture department, Moonlight Hayate had just figured out a way to actively contact Orochimaru recently, with the purpose of assassinating 3rd Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, so that Azuki Yugo would not have to be forced to marry. But now it seems that Azuki Xian clearly likes Yuchen herself, and she is not forced at all. In fact, because Orochimaru is dead, Sarutobi Hiruzen died with him. Since Moonlight Gale has not caused any damage to the village, he only needs to go to prison and be imprisoned for a year or so to reflect. After all, he is also a talent who possesses the rare ability of penetrating and escaping blood inheritance. But after he was convicted, he was stubborn and wanted to escape by means of escape. Instead, his crime was aggravated and he was imprisoned for 7 years. The most important thing is that he overused the through done, resulting in serious bodily injuries, and he didn't have a good life in the hospital, let alone in the prison, where he was basically sentenced to death. But even so, he can keep the whole body, and the sharing he once made for Konoha will not be erased. But now, trying to escape from prison and attack Konoha Jonin and Hokage as assistants, he was punished for several crimes and sent off. His death is a trivial matter, and he will be set up as a model, leaving a bad smell for 10,000 years. Why bother? People have no interest in you. Yamato secretly warned himself to stay away from beauty, knelt down on one knee and said to Zhao Yuchen, "Master Yuchen, I am willing to accept punishment for my lack of supervision. It didn't cause any problems anyway, let's forget it this time, you just send his body to the roots." Zhao Yuchen said gently, and waved his hands indifferently. Sarutobi Hiruzen was dead, and as soon as he returned to Konoha, the root was forcibly stuffed into his hand by Tsunade. He directly appointed Yukushi Kabuto as the deputy minister, continued some research reasonably and legally, and acted as the shopkeeper himself. With the card of Yukushi Nanoyu who is about to be resurrected, no, Izanami, and distinguished heavenly gods, he is not worried at all about Yukushi Kabuto's small thoughts. Yes. Yamato accepted immediately. Zhao Yuchen doesn't hold him accountable, that's the best situation. Otherwise, he would have to face that sullen senior Kakashi again and be blackmailed. Boom. Yamato wrapped Moonlight Hayate's body in wood style, turned around and walked towards the root base. Kun Yu is very familiar with it and can probably guess what Moonlight Gale does, but he doesn't think there is any problem. Moonlight Gale is a traitor, more hateful than the enemy, the corpse should be used as waste. Why are you looking at me like that? Zhao Yuchen smiled slightly as he met Shang Yui Xian's eyes. Asked knowingly. Mao Yu Xian rarely showed a hint of coquettish anger. What kind of swordsmanship did you just do? If you insist, it can be thick. Are you sure? What's your name? Watching a sword coming to the west, flying immortals from the sky, and a 100-step flying sword. Azuki Xian. Can you be more serious? Oh, that's just throwing the shuriken and flying out the long sword. Azuki Xian. Silent. What kind of swordsmanship is this? It's obviously changing weapons. Thanks to my worship. What exactly are I worshipping? But why? I think you have a very different temperament after flying out of that long sword. Uyue Xian asked unwillingly. That kind of demeanor is really charming. At least, I'm obsessed with her. Silent. Yuchen's mouth moved. How do you ask him to answer this? Could it be that she told Shi Yan that all sword repairers have a pretend aura? Imagine the situation when Ziman Chushui and Yi Guchang battled against the top of the Forbidden City, such dialogues as, "You are here, I am here, you shouldn't be here, I am still here, good sword, really good sword," and so on. That taste is really strong. As for him, he had filmed many martial arts films and cultivating immortals in his previous life, but he just imitated them subconsciously just now. I didn't expect such an amazing effect. What I did just now was just touching the rudimentary form of the foundation of kendo, it's nothing. When I comprehend the power of the sword, I can hardly be regarded as an entry. If you can comprehend the sword intent, you can be regarded as a sword repairer. After thinking about it, Zhao Chen decided to maintain a tight frame. The way of the sword, the basics, the prototype, the power of the sword, the intent of the sword. Hearing these high-level vocabulary, Azuki Shion only felt confused. She felt for a moment a door was opening to her. Zhao Yuchen nodded slightly, pretending to be profound. This is the knowledge I am going to teach you today, and it is one of the gifts I gave you. It's not appropriate to say here, you follow me to the training ground. As he spoke, Zhao Chen put one hand on Yui Shion. There is a saying that if she is not deeply involved in the world, take her to see the prosperity of the world. For different women, different means should be used to carry out strategies, which is the instinct to go deep into the soul and cells of Zhao Yuchen, Poseidon. Mitarashi Anko cares about Orochimaru's past, so he let Anko let go of this past. Yui Hong likes octopus and evening drinks, and he also meets his dead parents. As for Yui Shion, a woman who loves swordsmanship, he also prescribes the right medicine. Shua. Zhao Yuchen and Azuki Shion appeared in a training ground far away from Konoha. Member Azuki Shion started the live broadcast. In the group chat of the diary copy, the girls received a message prompt. Without hesitation, they entered one by one. Shang Lin. Sister Shion, Sai Gao, is she planning to broadcast Live the Love Process with Yuchen Big Brother? Ino. Sister Shion gave us a holiday today, and she was caught selling flowers by her mother, and she suffered so much. If there is a live broadcast, sauce. Hinata. Sister Hong is not in good health, so I will be with her during the holidays, and I happen to have time. Makoto. Observe. Kaguya. You are not going to practice, ready to punch me and kick me. Makoto. Hey, this is not Azuki Goddess, why did it appear again? Kaguya. Kushina. Practice is not as important as watching the live-action idol drama played by Mr. Yuchen. Tsunade. Fishing at work is the right path in the world. Shizune. Then I too. Terumi Mei. Then I'll take advantage of it too, and secretly investigate Konoha's information with King Sam Yihei and the others. Uyue Shion. Quiet me and don't go crazy, the next thing is important. I think it can be helpful to everyone, so I especially show it to everyone. Hearing this, the female expression reigned. First of all, I will send you 2 gifts for meeting. Zhao Yuchen took out the sealing scroll and sealed it with one hand. Boom. 4 sets of clothes and 2 swords and scabbards appeared in Yuchen's hands. The clothes are 2 sets of black and 2 sets of red, both of which are the strong hanfu worn by chivalrous women. The sword is of course not a samurai sword in the old days, but a real Kyushu short sword and a long sword. They are all double-edged and have a straight head. This is. Azuki Shion took the costume and sword, always feeling that some strange factor was being activated in her body. This is the real sword. A real sword? Yes, although you are practicing swordsmanship, you still use a katana sword. Most of the attack details are slightly different. This is why you are interested in Hitaki Sakumo's swordsmanship. They are essentially the same. Zhao Yuchen nodded lightly, and explained, a real sword can be called a 3-foot sword, but also a 7-foot sword. It is very dangerous. It is born to kill. Both sides are sharpened. Both sides of the straight sword and the sharp point of the sword can kill people. Is a weapon that exists purely for killing people. Existing purely to kill? Azuki Shion felt that she had a new understanding. The sword was a dagger-style short sword at the beginning, similar to a knife. The only difference is single-edged and double-edged. But driven by forging technology and various reasons, long swords appeared, but short swords are not abandoned. Long swords are convenient in combat. The short sword is good for body protection and assassination. Zhao Yuchen began to educate Azuki Shion about the swords he knew. To be honest, he used to be a history buff, and also a cold weapon secret. He had collected some unsharp cold weapons. For an artist, it can be said to be punishment. He has seen and understood the Gujian sword of the King of Yu, the sword of the King of Yan, the bronze sword, the chin sword of terracotta warriors and horses, etc. in the museum. So if you want to do a science popularization for Yui Shion, it's still very easy and very easy. And the 2 swords he gave Yui Shion were a chin sword. He also wanted to give a famous sword, but he hadn't seen it. Speaking of Qin Shizhong's Yuewang Bajian, etc., he wanted to draw Kurama Yukumo, but the latter couldn't draw it, saying that the result of the forced drawing was that chakra was exhausted and died. So he asked Kurama Yukumo to draw the most common chin sword, and then handed it over to Tianshan to forge it with chakra metal, which is enough for Azuki Shion to practice. Then these 4 clothes. After a long time, after listening to Zhao Yuchen's introduction with great interest, Shion gestured for clothes. This clothes, if you become a swordsman in the future, I hope you will wear it like this. Man? It will take time to explain again. I will talk about it later. Now you put on the clothes first, feel it, and I will give you some pointers. As he said that, Zhao Yuchen took out a set and a long sword from the sealed scroll. This is the set he will put on and use. Shi Yan nodded slightly, but then she was taken aback and said, change clothes, here? Where is it? Yuchen frowned and said, don't worry, I have a Kagura mind, and I can sense that there is no one around. Azuki Shion. Silent. The field is not a problem, and neither is Zhao Yuchen. After all, as a ninja, he has the ability to change clothes. However, she is now on Bibo. Effect. Here comes the spirit. Samuel and Tianxian are very interested in swords and swordsmanship. The former is interested in weapon moves, while the latter is interested in the weapons themselves. Others, such as Uzumaki, Kushina, and Hinata, listened carefully and cared simply because the narrator was Zhao Yuchen. But like Anko, Black Earth and Yu Wooden Golem, although they also listened, they lacked interest. This is a hobby and personality surprise. But when Yuchen asked Azuki Shion to change her clothes, they all came to their senses, and their attention was called concentration. Lonely men and widows, in the open air, changing clothes together, can't something happen? Ino. The CPI-8 is real. Fragrant phosphorus, screenshots are ready. Anko. A true warrior, who dares to change clothes in the wilderness, and dares to donate blood under everyone's gaze. Terumi Mei. You guys are too much, but I like it. Kushina. Now I'm not sleepy anymore. Tsunade. It's finally worth it for Ben Hokage to fish. Yi Kang. You guys are really, I am convinced. All the girls were looking forward to it, even Yi Kang, who had a somewhat resolute personality, was the same. Do you still want to watch? Yi Kang asked Zi Yuan beside him. Of course. Zai Yuan nodded with a red face. Hinata, Xianglin and Ino can do it, so can I. They are all of the same age, so why doesn't she have such courage? Yi Kang became more and more speechless in his heart. What's there to compete with? Are you worried that I will take advantage of you? Zhao Yuchen winked at Azuki Shion. Why didn't he see that Azuki Shion turned out to have such a shy personality? Azuki Shion didn't know what to say for a moment. With Anko and Yui Hong as demonstrations, she is ready to surrender herself. Let's change clothes together. It's not the kind of stripping with underwear. I really don't feel shy. It was mainly because of the jokes of those women, but she started the live broadcast by herself, so of course she ate the bitter fruit herself. Of course, she could also turn off the live broadcast, but if these women let their imaginations speak, the situation would be even worse. Understood. You won't, I will pass on the method to you. Zhao Yuchen stretched out a finger, teleporting the memory. A picture appeared in Mao Yue Xian's mind, and she immediately knew how to wear this suit, which made her even more difficult to get off. That's all. Just as Shi Yan was doing a good job of psychological construction for herself, she saw Zhao Yuchen's hands forming seals. Earth style, Tianlubi. Boom. Azuki Shion raised 4 walls around her body, which were 5 meters high, blocking all sight around her. With Yuchen's chakra caught in the wall, even the white eyes can't penetrate so easily. Azuki Shion was taken aback for a moment, followed by a smile on his face. According to the law of conservation of smiles, it can be seen that smiles will not disappear, but will only transfer. Azuki Shion smiled so brightly that the smiles of the girls who were relying on the diary to eat melons stiffened. We're all about to get wet, you just show us this. Azuki Shion. You don't know what kind of man Yuchen is. Mao Yue Xian. She is courteous, and her words and deeds are one. How can she take advantage of me? Azuki Shion. Your ideas are in vain. Mao Yue Xian was in a good mood. She took off her clothes and began to put on black clothes. Outside the dirt wall, as a man, Zhao Yuchen was much more straightforward, taking off his pants until only his underpants were left, which is the level that can be found everywhere on the beach. Seeing this scene, the eyes of the women suddenly widened. Terumi Mei. Screenshot, screenshot, screenshot for me. By Wooden Golem. Those abs are amazing. Drool. Samui. Damn. A slap on the cheek by Wooden Golem. How stupid I couldn't help but speak out what was in my heart. With the character of that Samuel woman, she might find something. By Wooden Golem. Why? Only men can see the figure of you in Tsunade-ji, and I'm not allowed to appreciate the figure of men. Sam Yi. Hee. Black soil. Who can resist this? Kushina. If you fight alone, only the attached worker can't live. Makoto. You said it as if I helped you and you resisted. Yui Hong. Anyway, I can't do it, and Yakumo is a surrender. Anko. Add me next time, because the family must have fighting spirit. Yi Kang. You guys. It's better to talk about body and abs. Black soil. Otherwise, what else can I say? Confused face. Tamari. You. Quit the group. Tsunade. Superficial, you are not. Mere pictures as excited. Terumi Mei. As expected of Tsunade-ji, she is just different from us. Tsunade. I am also excited. Terumi Mei. Shanglin. Hinata, I'm going to soak in the hot spring, do you want to come together? Flavor Phosphorus. Hinata? Hinata. Ino. Ha ha ha, I must be dizzy. Red. She's so shy, it's just abs. Ino. I don't think it's the abdominal muscles. Your perspective can be bolder. Tien Tien. Hey, is this reasonable? Black soil. God, is this normal? Ino. In comics, it is not like this either. Shizune. As a medical ninja, I am in charge. Mr. Yuchen is absolutely talented. Conan. This, can you bear it? Hand trembling. Kushina, Mikoto, Yukumo, Anko, Yui Hong. Okay, I asked a nonsense. Conan turned into paper and floated away, hiding his emotions. Can't these women all have different talents? Black soil. From this point of view, we women are quite powerful. Very good, as expected of you Hanyu, you dare to say that. Tsunade. The person in charge said that women are actually different. I will tell you when I have time, and you can deal with it yourself, whether you have special weapons. Yi Kang. On my side, there is another underage, coverface. Fragrant phosphorus. It's not the same who you were talking about. Shizune. Wake up. Hey hey hey. A group of women are a little crazy, or stimulated. Only Azuki Shien's smile began to disappear. Because of the barrier of the earth wall, she couldn't see anything. However, I can experience it right away. Azuki Shien comforted herself. Soon, the two changed their clothes. Mr. Yuchen, I'm fine, Azuki Shien said. The earth wall recedes back into the ground. The next moment, Zhao Yuchen, Azuki Shien, and all the girls who watched the live broadcast with a copy of the diary were stunned. Zhao Yuchen, with bright and vertical black hair, slanted and straight eyebrows, slender black eyes, containing sharpness, exquisite facial features, sharp edges and corners, tall and slender figure but not rough, black hair and black clothes, not tied or bundled, slightly fluttering, and fluttering. He just stood like this, exuding an air of coldness, arrogance, and independence all over his body. If we say that Zhao Yuchen in a suit is handsome, it makes all the girls want to fantasize, not only want to put their hands down. Then Zhao Yuchen, who is wearing this black chivalrous costume, is what makes them admire, and they only want to stand by their side to enjoy the tranquility and companionship. In terms of daily life, they would prefer Zhao Yuchen dressed in this way, with an indescribable sense of security and a feeling of wanting to be with him. This kind of clothing is also more in line with their aesthetics. It is not as good as the so-called suit, it is more like a kind of interest. At this time, Yuchen was also looking at Mao Yue Xian, who stood in the forest dressed in black, with a resolute expression, a cool temperament, and purple hair fluttering in an indescribably heroic manner. Qi Kong Fei ran. Good. After a long time, Zhao Yuchen put the scabbard on his waist, put the long sword back into the sheath, and said with a smile, "You and I are like a pair of envious heroes. You and I, holding swords and walking through this ninja world, specializing in injustice, will surely leave a wonderful story." Hearing this, a blush appeared on Mao Yu Xian's delicate face. Zhao Yuchen's words are also blatant, no different from a confession. As for the life Yuchen mentioned, she suddenly longed for it. Kirima Yukumo. I can't bear it at all. Please make me a few sets of similar clothes, I must be a fairy couple with my husband. Kushina. Give me a few sets too, money is not a problem. Samui. Do you know my size? I'll send it to you now. Tsunade. Come to Hokage office, immediately. Terumi Mei. It's abhorrent to actually use the public to benefit one's own interests, but I'm alone. Smiling. In an instant, all the girls rushed towards Hokage's office. As ninjas, Azuki Shien is very in line with their aesthetics and taste. The most important point is that Zhao Yuchen's temperament and appearance are doubled when he is dressed like this. When they want to stand with him, match a little. Sighing every day, she suddenly felt that it was not easy for her to take on the errand. She herself did not know what her turn was to be put on. Well, when the time comes, take the time to make a few cheongsoms, Mr. Yuchen also likes that. Hey, human women are really superficial. Kaguya watched this scene indifferently, shaking his head in disgust. She, the goddess of Uyue, can't take a fancy to this kind of fancy dress, absolutely. At this time, Azuki Shion took advantage of the situation to shut down the live broadcast, and then held a sword to invite Yuchen to fight. Let's fight. Zhao Yuchen drew his sword out. Next, I will teach you how to use the sword. In his previous life, he went to Wudang Mountain to learn Wudang swordsmanship for a period of time in order to shoot martial arts scenes, and his foundation was not bad. With his current strength and ability, he can completely recombine and combine all kinds of sword moves and sword techniques that he has seen in his previous life. At the beginning, the diary also rewarded 8 trigrams 64 punches, and the ninja world used the chakra version. With these foundations, he can use chakra to use all kinds of sword moves. Chakra is equivalent to internal force and external release of internal force. Body flicker technique is agility, plus Kagura's mind-eye perception. I'm already a master of martial arts. Zhao Yuchen's swordsmanship dazzled Yui Shion. Without using other ninjutsu, Zhao Yuchen defeated Azuki Shion with only swordsmanship. I am convinced. Azuki Shion fell into Yuchen's arms and said bluntly, "From today, I am your woman. Then let's be knights for a day." Zhao Yuchen chuckled, and took Azuki Shion out, really going to fight for justice everywhere in the ninja world. As for the ninja world, they did begin to spread their legendary later. The time came to night in a blink of an eye. After soaking in the hot spring together to wash away the exhaustion and blood, Zhao Yuchen came to the big bed with Azuki Shion in his arms. "Mr. Yuchen, please be gentle. Azuki Shion has practiced swordsmanship and ninjutsu since she was a child, which can also be said to be an alternative form of body art, so her physical fitness is very good, her muscles and bones are resilient but also very tense. The splits, lower back and other movements are all movements that can be easily done by her." Yuchen did not give advice on this aspect, but only taught him how to cultivate the yin-yang attribute sage mode. Yin dun is the power of yin with the spiritual energy in charge of imagination as the source, creating form in nothing. Yang dun is the energy of the body that is in charge of life as the source of yang power, giving life to the form. Both yin and yang can be used to obtain the power of everything, and even create life. Yuchen instructed Shion to master yin dun, and he cooperated with yang dun. The principle of attraction of opposites is used. It was bound to be a rewarding night. And when Zhao Yuchen and Yui Shion became stronger, the others were not idle. Somewhere underground at the junction of Grass Ninja Village in the Land of Rain, a figure slowly opened its eyes. "Finally the day has come, Obito finally. Huh?" Looking down at his body, feeling his strength at this moment, the black long-haired man wearing the red armor narrowed his eyes slightly, and his tone of admiration turned into doubt. "Pure world reincarnation? It's not the Rinne Tensai technique. Absolutely, what's going on here?" Black Zetsu bowed down respectfully, and said in a trembling voice, "Master Madara, something happened." "Accident?" Uchiha Madara frowned. Did Obito have his own ideas, or did something happen to Rinnegan? "There are 2 situations." Black Zetsu bowed. Under the surveillance of countless white Zetsu, Uzumaki Nagato somehow knows the content of Project Tasuki no Mi and the identity of Obito, and has doubts about the collection of tailed beasts. He planned ahead of time to force members of the Akatsuki organization to stand in line, and wanted to kill Obito, but thanks to White, he escaped with his life. After that, I cooperated with Obito and tried to get back the Rinnegan, but was stopped by a person named Yuchen. After Uzumaki Nagato shattered the spell with the power of the Rinnegan, only one Rinnegan was taken back. Having the Rinnegan, Obito now wants to be himself 10 tails Jinchuriki on Infinite Tsukuyomi, adapting to the great power you created. But because he is also carrying out your plan, I didn't stay and control him to revive you." Hearing this, Uchiha folded his hands on his chest, and a smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. Nagato can break free from the curse mark. The old man's Rinnegan is really powerful. As for Obito, I am not afraid that he has small plans, but I am afraid that he will not implement this plan. The Yuchen you mentioned can make Obito and you helpless, and can make Nagato cooperate. What is the strength, and you can dance back? A look of disdain flashed in Black Zetsu's eyes. Uchiha Madara is still conceited as always, so he is wise but doesn't doubt it, and thinks that Nagato's changes are brought about by Rinnegan. In this way, it can still be a good fool. This Yuchen, I can't tell how strong this Yuchen is, and you have to judge it yourself, Mrs. Madara. Black Zetsu said respectfully. I only know that he may be a descendant of the Senju clan. The chakra is very large, comparable to a tailed beast. Let 9 tails actively contribute chakra and let them use it. He also learned the reanimation jutsu, flying thunder god technique invented by Senju Tobarama. He also has 4 6 paths ninja gear and is able to talk to Shinigami. He also knows about your plans, Lord Madara, and I guess he, like the old toad on Mount Myoboku, has the ability to see a corner of the future. Black Zetsu told all the information he had collected about Yuchen. Except for the parts related to Kaguya, there is no reservation. And Uchiha Madara showed an excited expression after listening. It's good to be strong, otherwise I won't have Hashirama's time, and I will be too boring alone. There are strong people who can match me, which can make me excited, and I can dance. It's fun. Where is he? I'm going to try his depth now. Black Zetsu carried out impure world reincarnation, and the sacrifices were naturally added. Uchiha Madara can feel that he can turn on the Rinnegan. He is not afraid of Sage of Six Paths in impure world reincarnation status plus Rinnegan, legendary. What's more, Yuchen is a junior. The corners of Black Zetsu's mouth twitched slightly, and he said, Master Madara, Yuchen is Hokage's assistant, and he is currently in Konoha village. It's actually in Konoha. Madara frowned slightly, but quickly let go, and said indifferently, it depends on how strong he is, whether he can keep Konoha. With that said, he prepared to complete Susanoo and fly directly to Konoha. Black Zetsu cursed for a while, but said respectfully and seriously on the surface, Master Madara, you are going to Konoha now, there is some danger. What did you say? Madara looked at Black Zetsu. First Hokage Senju Tobirama, second Hokage Senju Tobirama, were all impure world reincarnation, and now they are in Konoha. Black Zetsu immediately quickened his tone and said, in addition, members of the Akatsuki organization, as well as Uzumaki Nagato are also in Konoha. Master Madara, although you are powerful, returning to the impure world reincarnation body dragged you down. Hearing this, Madara's face suddenly turned as black as an iron pot. Although his current body can activate Rinnegan, but the upper limit of chakra is limited, so he cannot use strong enough ninjutsu. The same ninjutsu, performed by the one-eyed Uzumaki Nagato, the power may lie in him. If you add Senju Hashirama who knows Sage Mode, and Senju Tobirama who has various forbidden techniques emerging one after another, he really can't dance in Konoha. Not to mention Konoha also has a Yuchen who hasn't even touched Black Zetsu thoroughly, but can be determined to be very strong based on the known information alone. He also has a Six Paths ninja tool specially used to seal it. He went Madara, probably to the doctor, you're right, this body is too weak for me to play with. Uchiha Madara took the steps naturally. After pondering for a while, he asked, Uchiha, in these years, has there been anyone who has awakened Mangekyo Sharingan? Yes, there are 3 more, namely Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Shisui, and Uchiha Itachi. Black Zetsu replied respectfully. Oh? Uchiha Madara's eyes lit up, and she nodded, not bad. Since that's the case, you lock the position of any one of the 3 of them, and when it comes out of Konoha, we will find it and capture it. Uchiha, who has turned on Mangekyo Sharingan, is already eligible to temporarily bear Rinnegan, and can barely use Rinne Tensai technique to revive him. As long as he snatches it down and steps into the Black Rune to control it, he can use one life for another to revive himself. Master Madara, I'm sorry, but this subordinate can't do it. Black Zetsu said respectfully. Can't do it? Yes, Lord Madara, all 3 of them are dead. What did you say? Uchiha Madara said coldly. I still have a little impression of Uchiha Fugaku, Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi should still be Uchiha Fugaku's juniors. They activated Mangekyo Sharingan, their strength is not weak at Kage level, how did they die? Could it be that after my death, the 4th Ninja World War broke out again? Uchiha Madara couldn't think of an answer no matter how hard she thought. Black Zetsu raised his eyes slightly and said, after you died, Obito went around under your name. He strikes when 9 Tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Kushina is about to give birth, resulting in the death of 4th Hokage, 9 Tails inflicting a severe blow on Konoha, and everyone in Konoha village hostile to the Uchiha clan. In the end, the Uchiha family was forced to go to the dispute, but it was jointly exterminated by Uchiha Itachi and Obito. Not long ago, Uchiha Itachi was killed by dust again. Uchiha Madara. After he left, the Uchiha clan with no clansmen who started the Mangekyo Sharingan existed well, even when Senju Tobirama was in power. As a result, after having 3 clansmen who opened Mangekyo Sharingan, they were exterminated instead. Also, why did Obito kill the whole clan with this man named Uchiha Itachi? Tell me the cause and effect of everything, in every detail. Uchiha Madara said with a cold face. Yes, heavenly beings. As for storytelling, Black Zetsu said he is best at it. Uchiha Madara fell silent for a long time after he eloquently talked about the plot between 3rd Hokage and Danzo, how stupid Uchiha Itachi was, and how Uchiha Obito got involved. He suddenly realized that something Senju Tobirama said was right. They Uchiha are inherently evil. Is it good to wipe it clean? No. The cause of this incident is obviously that the apprentices of Senju Tobirama targeted the Uchiha clan. Obito is just pushing the envelope, and Uchiha Itachi is the real psycho. Sure enough, Senju Tobirama is a scourge. Uchiha Madara silently decided that she must give Senju Tobirama a good look in the future. Meanwhile, Senju Tobirama, who was flipping through research treatments at the Root Institute, sneezed. How can you sneeze with a dirty body? HMPH, it must be Uchiha, who is inherently evil, scolding me. It is very effective. It seems that the matter of Project Tsuki no Mi and my resurrection needs a long-term plan. Uchiha Madara fell to the ground and thought. Time flies by. In the early morning of the next day, sunlight fell on the big bed through the window. Zhao Yuchen's eyes moved, and after Yo-Yo woke up, he took Mao Yue Xian into his arms. Mr. Yuchen, I can't do it anymore. Why don't you go to Anko and the others to live in a daze? Zhao Yuchen. Go to sleep. After covering Xian with a quilt, Yuchen came to the living room alone. At this time, it is already full of people, even Tsunade is there, which is rare. Eat breakfast. As a man, Zhao Yuchen took the lead and gave orders. When everyone was full, Terumi Mei suddenly asked, Mr. Yuchen, are you free to go shopping with me today? I got 2 good movie tickets. At the beginning of her, the eyes of the women changed drastically. Obviously, everyone gathered together today because they all wanted to surpass Zhao Yuchen alone. Not necessarily to send yourself, but at least want to spend time alone. I would like to, but not today, I have something to do today. Zhao Yuchen shook his head and refused. After accepting 3 daughters in a row, he felt that he could not continue. Stop for a while, it's time to improve your strength. After devouring the star, his constitution should be able to transform to the top level, and he will evolve into a Tensigan with a high-purity white eye. Next, I need to spend a few days practicing, Zhao Yuchen said seriously. Hearing this, all the girls immediately turned off their thoughts of inviting. Ino, Xianglin, I will trouble you to take care of Xian later. Okay, jail. X2, 5th generation, is it alright for me to ask for a few more days off? With second grandpa here, it's not a big problem. Then shall I resign? Hee, Zhao Yuchen. After chatting with the girls for a while, Zhao Chen left the house. He first found Senju Tobirama and asked him about the dark line technique. With the blessing of 3 Tomo Sharingan and Otsutsuki Constitution, it doesn't take long to master easily. Then he left behind 3 shadow clones, cast Flying Thunder God and left, preparing to find an absolutely safe place to retreat. All the little things have been done, let's go to the moon to retreat. Short 3 days, full half a month, can raise the constitution to the limit of the day after tomorrow. At that time, put on the white eyes and try to awaken Tensigan. 6 paths level, at your fingertips. Zhao Yuchen updated in the diary. The hearts of the girls were shocked. Are you really going to be ready for the 6 paths class? No wonder even Terumi Mei's date is turned down. But soon, the girls realized something, and their expressions changed drastically. Yi Kang. Hey, I don't want it. Oops, big things are bad. Yi Kang suddenly stood up from the grass, startling Zi Yuan beside him. Sister Yi Kang. What's wrong? Zi Yuan asked in confusion. She now has expectations for her future life. In terms of strength, as long as she can practice Sage Mode, she can bid farewell to the weak history of witches. In terms of fate, as long as she can be with Yuchen, she can break her own fate. In the current situation, Yui Hong, Shizun and others have already appeared outside the barrier, and determined the scope of the island through the diary and Yi Kang, but they couldn't break the barrier. But as long as Huang Quan appears and opens the barrier 4 days later, it's time for them to escape. Of course, at that time, she will also meet Yuchen, whom she misses so much. Everything is moving in a good direction. Why did Yi Kang suddenly act so anxious? Did you see the diary that Yuchen just updated? Yi Kang asked Ziyuan. I see. Ziyuan nodded lightly, and said with a smile, Master Yuchen is going to become stronger again, shouldn't we be happy for him? It's not about Yuchen becoming stronger, but about him going to the moon. Yi Kang said with a serious tone. You see, Yuchen wrote that the breakthrough can be completed in 3 days or half a month. This means that he will spend at least 3 days on the moon. At that time, will he still have time to pour us out? Hearing this, Ziyuan suddenly felt as if struck by lightning, and her face turned pale. They all know that Tsunade has not told Yuchen that they are trapped here. Otherwise, according to Yuchen's personality, he must go to the barrier to check the situation as soon as possible, at least he won't run to the moon. Could it be that destiny is really unbreakable? Ziyuan's hands and feet felt cold. She felt that her legs were losing strength, and she might fall to the ground at any time. But at this moment, a voice seemed to appear in the dark, telling her to calm down. Everything has a turning point, don't give up so easily. Mother. Instinctively murmured, Ziyuan rekindled her courage and took a deep breath to force herself to calm down. Sister, don't worry first. Ziyuan said calmly, if you were anxious, those sisters must be anxious too. Let's find a way together, maybe there is a chance. By the way, I remember that sister Uchiha Makoto, didn't she go to the moon with Master Yuchen? Maybe it's too late to find her. At this time, Yi Kang had also calmed down, nodded slightly, and then turned his attention to copy C of the diary. Black soil. What's the matter? Something happened to you. Tsunade. Could it be that Jiraiya is messing around, you were taken advantage of? Anko. It is possible for that old pervert to do so. Yi Kang. Yi Kang. Sisters, haven't you noticed that Yuchen said he's going to retreat on the moon? If he's quick, he'll be back in 3 days. If he's slow, he'll be back in 15 days. Will he still have time to come to our side to save people? Focus on Mr. Yuchen's strength improvement and ignore this detail. Kushina. At Tsunade, have you talked to Yuchen about Yi Kang and the others being trapped in the barrier? Tsunade. Terumi Mei. Obviously, not, otherwise Yuchen would not use it so simply. Ino. What should I do now? My dad and the others are all at my sister's place. If they die, they won't even have the chance to be resurrected. At Shizune at Samui, can the smart sisters think of a way? Azuki Shien. Ino, calm down. Do you think the teacher is in a hurry? Shizune. If you care about it, it will cause chaos. There is no need to worry about this matter. Samui. Forgot how many shadow clones Yuchen kept by Yingying's side to learn the second generation's purpose of Hyde together? Makoto. After the shadow clone is released, the memory and some experiences will be brought back to the main body. Later, Sister Tsunade will find Yuchen shadow clone and tell about the situation of Yi Kang and the others. Once his shadow clone is released, the main body will know. Tien. In addition, several sisters and I have Mr. Yuchen's flying thunder god Kanai. As long as we inject chakra into it, Mr. Yuchen can come back to us as soon as he knows that we are in danger. Hinata. Sister Hakura, please relax. Yi Kang. Well, if she cared about it, she would be in chaos, and she didn't expect there to be so many solutions. Sister Yi Kang. How is the situation? Seeing that Yi Kang's expression improved, Ziyuan asked quickly. It's because I worry too much. Yi Kang was embarrassed, and said the conversation in the group. I knew it. Ziyuan showed a bright smile. If there were not so many backers, how could Master Yuchen leave the moon so easily? Yes. Yi Kang nodded in agreement. At the same time, the inner ball space of the eyeball. Otsutsuki Kaguya's slender fingers rested on his knees and tapped lightly. Her eyes were constantly changing, revealing the entanglement in her heart. Do you want to tell them about this? Tell them that they may be able to find a solution. Isn't this concubine doing good deeds again? If you don't tell them, they will be very desperate when they know. No, the possibility of them finding a solution is 0. If the concubines say it, they will be in despair for the next few days from now on. That's right. How dare you disobey and blaspheme my concubine? Short-term despair is not enough. Kaguya stared and made a decision, but she didn't speak in a hurry, but waited quietly. Arrive. Using Flying Thunder God all the way, Zhao Yuchen didn't take long to come to the territory of Snow Country, and then found the entrance to enter the inner space of the moon. Coming. Sensing Yuchen's chakra, Kaguya put on a smirk. Kaguya. Despair, inferior humans. Makoto. You ran out without taking medicine? Kushina. Do you want to go to the little black house? Black soil. People are sealed inside the moon, which is equivalent to being locked up in a small black room for thousands of years. What is a mere silence? From Wooden Golem. It turns out that I miss the feeling of being locked up in a small dark room, so please help her. Anko. Shall I initiate a vote? Kaguya. Kaguya. Vote. My concubine also agrees, just in time to appreciate your increasingly desperate expressions. Seeing this sentence, the woman's heart tightened for no reason. Stimulate Kaguya, it's just that they think it's fun, it's a daily entertainment behavior, not hostile. Under normal circumstances, Kaguya would be outraged by them, and after they laughed, there would be some words to lift her up. But this time, overnight was so stubborn. From the understanding of a tsundere, this is obviously a big deal. Makoto. Yo, Goddess Azuki is really tough, but I don't believe you can make us despair. Kushina. We have Mr. Yuchen, despair? Doesn't exist. Samui. Calm down, Kaguya is going to ignore Hiroto too. Shizune. With Mr. Yuchen here, how can you be desperate? Hinata. Grandpa, it's not good to be scary. All the girls said something to each other. Some were cautious, while others were simply driven by emotions, and attacked Kaguya together. Kaguya's smile widens. That's what she wants from them. Only in this way, when the truth is revealed, they will be even more desperate. Kaguya. Very good, I personally like the way you speak hard. Kaguya. Tell you, this time of despair is precisely because Yuchen came to the moon. Kaguya. The witches and other people who protect her will die completely for the people of the underworld. The hearts of the girls suddenly thumped. Contact chat records, they actually have some guesses. But they don't understand why they say that they have a way to contact Yuchen. Makoto. Alarmist talk. Samui. Calm down, don't be scared by her. Fragrant phosphorus. It seems to be true. Hinata. Grandpa, don't be scary, why do you say that? Kaguya. Hey, it's okay for you to have superficial knowledge, you don't even know how to reason. Kaguya. The moon is a corpse enchantment that can seal even the body of a concubine. Yuchen is inside the moon. He only has flying thunder god induction and shadow clone chakra. Do you think you can contact him? Tsunade. It means that after Yuchen's shadow clone is released, he can't return to the main body with his memory and experience? Kaguya. Unless, the strength of his shadow clone surpasses the seal jointly arranged by Yuya and Hamura. The girls understand that Yuchen will definitely reach this height in the future, but it is absolutely impossible now. Tianshan. It is useless for us to activate the Flying Thunder God imprint. Kaguya. Unless his perception can surpass the Six Paths planetary devastation seal, or he can perceive the ninja world outside the moon, the only one who will come to save you is the shadow clone he left behind. The girls understand that the current Yuchen must not be able to do it. In other words, the two paths they thought of, the victim died. Ino. Does this mean that we can't contact Brother Yuchen? Hinata. According to Xian's prophecy, if Brother Yuchen can't arrive in time. At this moment, Zhang En's mood sank. Ino's legs went limp and he lay directly on Yuchen's bed. Don't worry, we will definitely find a solution. Azuki Xian hugged Ino and gently comforted her. Her mind began to function at a high level. Xian. At Makoto, sister, you and Mr. Yuchen have been to the moon, do you know the specific entrance? The girl's eyes lit up, this is indeed a solution. Makoto. Sorry, I don't know. You also know that Yuchen likes to use the Flying Thunder God technique when he is on the road. I only know the approximate range. Kushina. The approximate range is enough. With the particularity of my spiritualization technique, if I rush over to do a blanket search, I should be able to find the entrance soon. Karama Yukumo. There are 5 vermilion bird mechanism beasts alive on my side, and I can bring some people from the Hyuga and Yamanaka clans to assist in the search. Shang Lin. Sister Yukumo, this method is feasible, but it can only be used as an alternative, because it is the entrance of the moon. If too many people know about it, it may break the Yuchen Big Brother plan. It is best for Sister Kushina to go alone, it doesn't matter if you find it or find it. For this sentence, all the girls nodded in their hearts. This is not just a matter of showdown diary copies, it may also touch Yuchen's interests. They must be careful. But the lives of Xian, Inoshika Cho and others are at stake, and they have no choice. Kaguya's smile gradually froze for you, silent. She was making them desperate, not letting them think about countermeasures in advance. This is absolutely not allowed. Kaguya. Your thinking is too simple. Kaguya. The concubine has already said that after Yuchen came to the moon, you have no solution to this matter. Makoto. Can you finish your sentence? Kaguya. You kindly ask my concubine to think about it. Makoto. Understood, you dare not, because you are afraid that we will find a solution, and you will die laughing. Kaguya. Silent. She will be afraid, just say it. Otsutsuki Kaguya. Yuchen is a cautious character, he is a man of love, and his concubine admires him very much. What do you think he will do after he finds the entrance to the moon? Kaguya was hit by Uchiha Makoto's provocative method, and he really spoke out to tell the truth, although it was in a rhetorical way. But even if he is as simple as Black Earth and as passionate as Anko, he can understand what she means. Shizune. According to Mr. Yuchen's personality, there will always be an enchantment and sealing technique near the entrance. Kushina. He is so cautious, enchantment and sealing techniques must be able to isolate perception, white-eyed perspective and other investigations. Makoto. Even if you and I go out of our bodies, we probably won't be able to find the entrance to the moon, and if we can find it, we won't be able to enter. Terumi Mei. This is a knot, after the empty moon. At this moment, the hearts of the girls were unprecedentedly heavy. Only then did they realize that it was too easy to think about Yuchen leaving. But they had to rely on him, but after they couldn't contact him, their love really turned into despair. This time, Kaguya-ji seems to be right, father. Ino snuggled into Azuki Shien's arms, her eyes began to moisten with the feeling of powerlessness. If it was just death, she wouldn't be so sad, because Yuchen has mastered the method of resurrection, and there are more than one. But if the soul is reincarnated, like the underworld, or dissipated, even the sage of 6 paths cannot save it. This is how to do. Hyuga Hinata's heart tightened because her cousin was among the trapped people. Yi Kang and Ziyuan were very disturbed, and they were the parties involved. This feeling of knowing that you must die and waiting quietly is very uncomfortable. I shouldn't have left Devil Country. Ziyuan blamed herself. Once, Huang Quan was tempted by the evil spirit, using its power to create an army of undead ghosts, and asked the previous generation of witches, Ziyuan's mother Maitreya, to join forces with him, but Maitreya refused, and the two sides broke out in conflict. With the help of many ninjas, Maitreya sacrificed himself and sealed the soul of the evil spirit in the underground palace of the Ghost Country, and his body was sealed in the ancestral hall of the Marsh Country. As time passed, the seal began to fade, the evil spirit began to recover, and Huang Quan and others also made a comeback. But it is reasonable to say that there are still 3 years at the earliest before the time when the charm is restless. The reason for the riots now is because Ziyuan left the Devil Country without authorization. Without the lineage of the witch to suppress the seal, the soul of the evil spirit wakes up and begins to cause trouble. Ziyuan's self-blame is not without reason. Damn it, I should have told Yuchen immediately. In Hokage's office, Tsunade slapped the table, startling Senju Tobarama. He has a filthy body, and theoretically he would not feel tired, but last night, after watching Danzo's research over the years, he was very angry and full of thoughts. Tsunade's slap on the table was completely unexpected. Shao Tsunade, you. Senju Tobarama subconsciously wanted to educate others. But at this time, Tsunade spoke first. Second Grandpa, the shadow clone you developed is really weak. It would be great if it can carry memory and penetrate various barriers after it is released. Senju Tobarama. After the shadow clone is lifted, most barriers cannot prevent the memory from returning to the original body. Senju Tobarama argued instinctively. He does not allow the ninjutsu he developed to be questioned. Planetary devastation doesn't work. Tsunade said casually. Let's not talk about 6 paths level, yin-yang planetary devastation. Senju Tobarama. What is planetary devastation? A special ninjutsu of Rinnegan. The moon in the sky is created by Sage of 6 Paths and his younger brother Otsutsuki Hamura to seal Otsutsuki Kaguya. Tsunade reiterated. Information about Sage of 6 Paths, Otsutsuki Hamura and Otsutsuki Kaguya, etc., Yuchen has said, so there is no need to keep it secret. Senju Tobarama. It turns out that he is the master of forbidden technique and the younger brother of Senju Hashirama, who is known as the god of ninja world, but he is not a real god. At this time, Tsunade suddenly sat back to act, with an expectant expression on his face. Conan. I thought of a way, not only to contact Yuchen, but also to avoid the exposure of the diary copy, and the need to find the moon entrance. Tsunade, Yukura, Ino. What way? Conan. G. Tsunade, Yuchen must know about Shien and the moon barrier. You just need to tell his shadow clone about Ziyuan and others being trapped in the special barrier, and his shadow clone will definitely be able to judging the seriousness of the matter, and thus using the Flying Thunder God technique to go to the Snow Country, find the entrance to the moon, and then release the state, isn't it? Conan. Even if there is a contingency, Yuchen's shadow clone didn't think about the moon enchantment. When the time comes, you can remind him after the dungeon of the diary showdown, isn't that all right? Fragrant Phosphorus. Sister, you are so smart. Every day. Transparent, really transparent, Ino, Sister Nansai Gao. Conan's words awakened the dreamer. That's right, Shadow Clone brought back memories and experiences soon after it was released, but it didn't mean he had to deliver the message in this way. For others, this matter may be blind, but Yuchen's Shadow Clone also has the Flying Thunder God technique. Can't you go to the moon to find the body? They don't need to reveal the copy of the diary, and they don't need them to lead people to find the entrance of the moon. Yuchen's Shadow Clone already knows the location of the entrance and can arrive in time. Perfect. Grandpa, the Shadow Clone you invented is really the most powerful ninjutsu in the world. Tsunade smiled and gave Senju Tobarama a thumbs up. Senju Tobarama. My own granddaughter is destined to be a little seriously ill. Tsunade is out of the question. Senju Tobarama pondered for a long time, and said, Tsunade, what do you think about my suggestion and your grandfather's? Suggestion? What suggestion? Tsunade froze. Have a child with Yuchen. Inherit the advice of the Senju clan. Senju Tobarama said seriously. Tsunade. Silent. At that time, many members of the Senju clan, including Nawaki, will be able to be resurrected. There is no need for me to make such a sacrifice, right? Is this a sacrifice? You are an old girl in your 50s, we are thinking about you. I'll think about it again. Tsunade looked wildly. Senju Tobarama's eyes lit up, and he shouted. It seems that I have to talk to Senju Hashirama and try harder to persuade. Yuchen is so excellent, of course he has to be his grandson and son-in-law, right? But at this time, in Shichu space, Otsutsuki Kaguya had another expression of doubting life. She didn't expect that this group of inferior humans would find a solution. So, wouldn't she be the clown to remind them again? Makoto. At Otsutsuki Kaguya, thank Goddess Azuki for considering loopholes for us. Tsunade. I'm going to talk to Yuchen's shadow clone right now, thanks at Otsutsuki Kaguya. Hinata. Ancestor, you are so kind, you use this method to check for omissions and fill vacancies for us. Yukura. Kaguya Hyde, Shion asked me to thank you again and again. Black soil. As a reward, we won't vote for your little black house. Tien. Agree, seconded. Kaguya. Silent. Are you thanking you? You are a blatant slap in the face. I don't like it, and I don't want to accept it. Kaguya. Do you think you have won? Makoto. What advice does Azuki have to offer? Kaguya. I'm not afraid to tell you that my body has now recovered a little bit of strength, and other places can't do it, but it can already affect the moon channel, which is the closest to the seal of my body. Kaguya. I can't deal with Yuchen's body, but with just a shadow clone, he can't reach the target. Kushina. It means that you can personally act to prevent Yuchen's shadow clone from passing the message to his body? Kaguya. Not bad. This time, all the girls frowned, they all realized that things were a little tricky. If Kaguya is the gatekeeper, they really don't seem to be able to pass the information to the moon Yuchen's own hands. Makoto. You are threatening us, I don't believe you dare to do this, it will really be with us forever. Kushina. Yes, we will do everything possible to seal it. Samui. Yuchen found out about this matter afterwards, and he will never let you go. Ino. Kaguya-ji, don't realize yourself. All the girls gave warnings one after another. Kaguya's expression suddenly became very ugly. To be honest, she is not afraid of the threat of this group of women. But Samui's reminder, she couldn't ignore it. Thinking of the experience of being shocked by electric shock, she dare not underestimate the diary and Yuchen. But if she is asked to show weakness, she is absolutely unwilling to accept it. Kaguya. Will the concubine be afraid? The concubine is immortal. Even if you seal the concubine again, you will release the concubine when Otsutsuki comes. Kaguya. With the concubine's current strength, identity and bloodline, at most she will be punished but will not die. Kaguya. What is in front of Yuchen in the diary Otsutsuki clan? Makoto. What do you mean, there is nothing to talk about? Kaguya. It depends on your performance. Seeing this, all the girls felt relieved. There is no toughness, which means that Chuck Hezu is really arrogant. What you want to see them despair is actually a change of direction to remind them of problems they haven't considered. Tsunere is cute sometimes, but sometimes it's really annoying. If you have a chance in the future, you must correct it. At this moment, all the girls made the same decision in an incomparably tacit understanding. Then, they decided to flatter Kaguya Hyde, but in terms of sending text, because. But before they could act, the contents of the diary were suddenly updated. Successfully arrived at the moon, ready to practice with stars. Before that, naturally, I should first look for Sharon, and ask him if he has recently monitored the ninja world and found Daishiji. I don't know if I don't ask, but I'm shocked when I ask. In just 10 days, so many variables have happened in the ninja world that I don't even know. The first thing is that Ziyuan's wife left the ghost country, and Mei Mei woke up early and sent a ghost army to hunt down, and Yi Kang's wife and Jiraiya were trapped together. Female. That's how you know, Kaguya-ji. For the first time in thousands of years, Otsutsuki Kaguya felt the urge to let go of his restraint and curse. She wanted the girls to despair several times, but they found a way to solve it several times, and in the end she had to threaten her in person to win the half-wit. In the end, before she could enjoy the fruits of victory, she was destroyed by Yuchen's random words. Didn't everything she did before become a joke? Kaguya Hyde should be very angry now, right? Uchiha Makoto, who was practicing, opened his eyes and looked at Kushina, who was simulating body shaping. Let's not add insult to injury, maybe she will be useful in the future, Kushina said very rationally. It's impressive that you can say that. Makoto's beautiful eyes showed surprise. I'm just impulsive, not stupid. Kushina said unhappily. I've been watching Yuchen for so long, if I don't have any sense of crisis, wouldn't it be embarrassing for him? Makoto chuckled, it's Otsutsuki after all, let's give her some face. More than that, send a private message to others. Well, start with Black Soil, Anko and the others, and put Conan and the others last. Clear. The most merciful message to everyone is to send it out. Don't mess with Otsutsuki Kaguya? I'm not that boring. Anko said that he would not do such a thing, and then entered the group chat, and deleted the edited text, Goddess Suzuki, does your face hurt? I'm naive, not stupid. How could I make trouble for a woman like Kaguya? Hyde felt that he was seen clearly, and was a little angry. Then, she also entered the group chat and deleted the newly edited, Kaguya don't cry, stand up and dance. Who do you look down on? Who do you look down on? Very upset by Wooden Golem. How could she mock Otsutsuki Kaguya? The most she could do was to say, thank you Kaguya-ji for showing mercy. The majestic Azuki goddess, you must have some measure, right? It's a pity. Hinata's eyes were full of disappointment. She wanted to comfort Kaguya cleverly, and let the latter scare the girls. However, she will not do things that may really intensify the conflict. Always, for a while, the group chat in Bingtian was very quiet. Kaguya, who thought he would be ridiculed by the crowd, relaxed. Meanwhile, somewhere on the island, Yi Kang and Ziyuan glanced at each other, and they could feel each other's relaxation at the moment. Since Zhao Yuchen already knew about their situation, he naturally wouldn't stand by and watch. The crisis here has been resolved. They calmly continued to flip through the diary. Ziyuan left the ghost country ahead of time, and the direction should be Konoha. This is different from the plot I know. Could it be that he came to find me? Ziyuan has two special abilities, one is to seal the monsters again, and the other is to predict the death of others. The first ability is very interesting, it can actually target the ghosts, and the ghosts are the mountain gods in my big Kyushu mythology. The weak ones are fine, or the ghosts that specialize in harming people in the mountains and forests, they can't get on the stage. I don't know the ghosts in the ninja world, and the same with them, is there any connection in Kyushu? If it's pure animation, then Kishimoto is naturally a habitual tribute to my Kyushu culture. But in this real world that I can travel through, maybe there is a deep meaning. Seeing these contents, all the girls wrote them down carefully, because they can increase their knowledge. Instead, it was Otsutsuki Kaguya who responded the most. Big Kyushu. Kaguya's white eyes flickered slightly and said, May, it's just the divine mind of a god from another world, could it be that this other world is Kyushu? So, the concubine's body is not easy to seal, but in Yuchen's mouth, these foreign gods are actually the bottom and the top. Then the real god. At this moment, even Kaguya dare not think about it. She is afraid to scrutinize carefully, the Otsutsuki she is proud of as nothing. Ziyuan's second ability is that she can only see the death of people close to her, or some people related to something closely related to her, and she cannot avoid it. The kind of inescapable death is a bit like the Book of Life and Death. If you open it in advance, you will encounter Shinigami. If she came to me, there is a high probability that I can change some kind of fatal situation, so I am not surprised at all. Hiss. At this moment, the women once again marveled at Yuchen's wisdom. Because he knew Ziyuan's information in advance, after knowing that she abnormally left the ghost country, he directly deduced the truth. If it were them, they would definitely not be able to think so far. But what surprised me was that Yi Kang and the others went to rescue Xian and were trapped on an unknown island. I used a huge tensigan to observe, and found that there is an enchantment outside the island, which is completely composed of natural chakra, and it is the charm that controls the formation of the enchantment. Being able to form an enchantment with the power of nature, this charm is more and more similar to what I remember. If you want to forcibly break this barrier, not counting Schrodinger's Sage of Six Paths and Otsutsuki Hamura, and the Hidden One style, only Uchiha Obito, Uzumaki Nagato, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara can do it in the current ninja world. Guangcheng does not count. However, it is impossible for Uchiha Obito to make a move. Nagato and Senju Hashirama have a huge risk in making a move, so they cannot leave Konoha for the time being. Because of the second big thing Shirin told me, Uchiha Madara was reincarnation by Black Zetsu Impure World. If first generation and Nagato were separated, they would definitely be targeted. Female. Hey guys, Uchiha Madara has come back to life. Terumi Mei. Originally I didn't want to talk, but I couldn't help it when I saw this. At Otsutsuki Kaguya, your son likes to make trouble so much. Kaguya. It is the concubine's strongest will before being sealed, combined with yin and yang escapism to survive. The meaning of existence is to save her own body. Need to explain to you? Black Zetsu did a good job. All the girls curled their lips together. Sure enough, he is a deadly tsundere, let him show his secrets. Samui. The deal is done. Let's deal with it first. Uchiha Madara in the state of impure world reincarnation. Apart from the current Konoha, is there any village that has the strength to single out? Terumi Mei. Kirigakure direct offering. Tamari, Sanagakure. It doesn't matter if you don't say it. Black Soil. If he goes to Iwagakure, I suspect my grandfather will surrender directly, do you believe it? Tamari. Uchiha Madara is very strong, but you don't have to look down on your grandpa. Black Soil. We are good sisters at the two ends. You see, I am only 15 years old and I am already 1.6 meters. Mr. Yuchen calls me leg shadow. I think my legs will be very long in the future, and I will definitely grow them again. There are not many people in Konoha whose father's height can't be compared. Don't you think my grandfather's height is very problematic? Tamari. What's the problem? Black Soil. Isn't that right? Don't you pay attention to other hidden villages? At least you should know the information of the 5 shadows, right? Tamari. Well, we at Sanagakure have always paid attention to the situation of Kirigakure and Konoha village. I only know that 3rd Tsuchikage has been eliminated by blood successors, so I don't pay much attention. Follow Kirigakure, it's because of blood feuds. For example, the death of Hakura. Most Sanagakure ninjas don't know the filth of the high level, just because Kirigakure perfidiously calculated their Sanagakure heroes. Many people who followed Hakura before hated Kirigakure. For Konoha village, the hidden villages of the major countries are actually pure thoughts. Samui. You, Iwagakure, are being stared at by my Cloud Shinobi village. Under normal circumstances, there is really no need to specifically stare. Black Soil. Well, let me tell you, my grandfather is 1.3 meters tall. Tamari. Shang Lin. I see your father is more than 2 meters tall, right? Black Soil. The net height is 2.17 meters. Outrageous, a man who is 1.3 meters tall, even if he marries a woman who is 2 meters tall, can't he give birth to a man taller than 2 meters? At this time, the genetic mutation, or black soil. I know what you are thinking. To be honest, after I became sensible, the first doubt I had was whether my father was adopted by my grandma. You don't have to be so reserved. To be blunt, you think your grandma is cheating. Black Soil. Until Grandpa took out the family photo, I found that Grandpa's father and Grandpa were nearly 2 meters tall, and so were some clan members. By Wooden Golem. So what is wrong here? Black Soil. The first meeting of the 5 cages, Uchiha Madara said that he wanted to overturn the table and leave the 4 cages behind, but his grandfather was still young, so he followed the 2nd generation project, which was still the guard of the 1st generation, to gain knowledge, and ended up with R. I get it, I was actually frightened by Madara. This gave them a new understanding of the power of that ninja Shura. Onoki has the gene to be 2 meters long, but was surprised to be only 1.3 meters long. Fortunately, it only affects himself, not the next generation, otherwise the one who should be suspected is the mother of 3rd Tsuchikage. Tsunade. Prepare yourselves, first pass the information back to the village, and make preparations in advance to prevent Uchiha Madara, especially Jinchuriki, be sure to stay in the village. By Wooden Golem. I rushed back to Cloud Shinobi village from Konoha, the risk is great. Samui. Don't be ashamed, stay with Jie. By Wooden Golem. Isn't 4th Raikage urging me to go back? Samui. Don't play tricks on me, I will help you get this done. Sigh. Black Soil. The 5 Jinchuriki uncles are fine, but the 4 Tails Jinchuriki old man is rebellious. Cover face. Terumi Mei. Kirigakure is fine, Sanagakure and 8 Tails Jinchuriki are definitely fine, but the 7 Tails Jinchuriki of Takeshino village I think I need to worry about. Tsunade. Then let's unite and put pressure on all the hidden villages, so that Takeshinobu village will send 7 Tails Jinchuriki to Iwagakure or Konoha for a while. Samui. Yes. The girls immediately went on the offensive. For Uchiha Madara, that's not to be taken lightly. In a way, they would rather Black Zetsu succeed Uchiha Madara to revive Kaguya than Uchiha Madara revive and become 10 Tails Jinchuriki. At that time, I am afraid that only the resurrection of Sage of 6 Paths can fight him. Of course, Yuchen is hard to say either. At this time, Kong Jun's diary continued to be updated. Uchiha Madara's problem is not big. When I awaken Tenseigan, and the Otsutsuki family is about to transform into an innate constitution, even if he is fully resurrected and regains the 2 Rinegons plus the power of Senju Hashirama, he is not as good as me, let alone me. Many forbidden technique. Master Madara, a fighting maniac, it is very suitable to form a pioneering team with Dazuzi for a while. In the future, he may be able to surpass the 6 paths level and become the vanguard of the counterattack Otsutsuki. Well, I thought about it for a while, and I will plan it later. Female. Silent. Puff. Many women laughed out loud, and the nervousness suddenly disappeared. They were doing emergency response, but it turned out that Yuchen's first sentence was not a big problem. Then I thought of fooling Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama as thugs, and counter-attacking Otsutsuki in the future. Is this the layout and height? They are superficial. What I really care about is Sharon's third discovery. This is related to many of my future strategic layouts, and there is no room for mistakes. The eyes of the girls suddenly changed. This kind of external god's divine sense that even Otsutsuki Kaguya is afraid of is just a small god in Yuchen's mouth, and it is nothing more than such a monster. The existence of Uchiha Madara, which makes them ready for battle, is not a big problem in Yuchen's mouth, and it can be calculated and recruited, and it can be used to deal with Otsutsuki in the future. It can be seen how high-minded Yuchen is, but now he has become serious because of the third discovery, and the use of words such as no loss makes them also have to become serious. Sharon discovered that a huge fleet appeared in the sea area southeast of the Kingdom of Wind, and it came from another continent where the sun never sets. I have some impressions of this fleet. It is the Hyde Legion that the sun never sets. The leader is Hyde. There are 3 good-looking and heroic female knights under his command, Camilla, Rank, and Fengwei. The power used by the man who never sets the sun is also chakra, but it is different from the chakra refined by ninjas. They have a powerful power through the transplant of the Grail stone. They are very powerful in body and illusion, and they also have the ability to transform. I remember that Camilla can transform into a bat, Rank can transform into an ape, and Fengwei can transform into a werewolf. Peeved haha, isn't this the same as vampires, King Kong and werewolves? Kishimoto, little day, you are worthy of being you. The only one who is better than Bongza at least admits that it is a reference, a tribute, instead of directly stealing, ha ha ha. Let me laugh for a while. Silent. The diary has not been updated later, are you speechless? To be honest, they were all aroused after seeing the first half of the content. They do know about other continents, but they rarely see visitors from other continents. Unexpectedly, the strengthening system of the opponent's world is different from that of ninjas. It actually relies on the Greer ore and has the ability to transform. Bats, apes, werewolves, they all sound ugly, wouldn't a woman respond to that? And the only thing that puzzled them was, what's so funny about it? This guy really knows us very well. Camilla, who was standing on the deck and looking into the distance on a small ship that was already far away from Hyde's fleet, couldn't help showing fear in her eyes. According to the information they know, it will take about 3 months for the fleet to reach another continent, and they will spend a month on several large islands in the middle. She took Frank Hefeng and set off first. Even if the journey went smoothly, it would probably take 2 months to make the journey. But such a distance was actually seen by Yuchen standing on the moon with one eye. This method has repeatedly exceeded her understanding. But what is a vampire? Camilla frowned. Obviously, the King Kong mentioned by Zhao Yuchen at the end corresponds to the ape man, and the werewolf corresponds to the werewolf. Then her baptization corresponds to a vampire, but she doesn't suck blood. Is this some kind of special ability or appellation? Camilla fell into deep thought until the contents of the diary were updated again. Enough laughing, the Hyde Legion matter needs to be taken seriously. Based on the current distance calculation, it will take 3 months at the fastest to reach the ninja world continent. In the plot I know, Naruto and Gaara were close friends at the time, and the Hyde Legion invaded the Land of Wind from the direction bordering the Land of Fire. At that time, Uzumaki Naruto formed a temporary team with small Sakura and Shikamaru to find the lost ferret, but attacked by an army led by the god Timothy. After the fierce battle, Naruto and Shikamaru lost their little Sakura, and accidentally fell to the cliff with Timothy, and were rescued by a caravan with important identities, and later became friends, while Shikamaru saw Hyde's huge mobile fortress and dive into it. This Timothy is also a poor man. On the surface, he is a child who survived the war. He was rescued by Hyde and was implanted with the Grail stone to gain power. In fact, Hyde is his father-killing and mother-killing enemy. He has been using he. This Hyde is not a good thing. Seeing this, Camilla's eyes showed killing intent. Half to Timmy, half to Yuchen. It is not difficult to see from Yuchen's words that Timothy will betray Hyde in the end. And she has a high degree of loyalty to Hyde. After all, Hyde saved her during the war and gave her the awakening power of the Greer ore. Camilla's expression changed drastically, and her body suddenly became stiff. She had a guess that was bold, but she didn't want to believe it. At this moment, Frank Hefeng, who had finished sparring, came to her side wiping sweat, just in time to notice that she was not in the right state. "Camilla. What are you thinking, you stinky woman?" Feng Wai said directly, with a rude tone. "Could it be that you're thinking about a man?" Rank laughed and said bluntly. "During the boring years of wandering at sea, it's normal to have thoughts of finding a man. Recently, I've always seen her in a daze." Hearing what the two said, Camilla came back to her senses and said coldly, "You know Timmy, right? You tomboy, are you really starting to miss men?" Feng Wai wondered. "You say I'm a tomboy?" Camilla looked disgusted. This woman doesn't look at herself. She has fair skin and doesn't look like she has been blown for a long time. She has long chestnut hair and pupils that are the same as her own, and her pupils have turned bright red because of Greer ore. She looks very beautiful and looks like a woman. But as soon as he opened his mouth, even a man would have to be frightened. "If you want to say that I am, I don't care." Feng Wai shrugged, expressing that he didn't care. "I care, I'm a beautiful sister." Lan Ke brushed 2 strands of slender hair hanging on his chest. "Too lazy to chat with you." Camilla pursed her lips, and said directly, "I just want to ask, do you know when and where Timothy was brought back by the leader?" "Well, I really want to remember something. The teacher said it at the time." Rank gave an answer after thinking about it. Feng Wai said that she didn't care about these things at all. Camilla said in a deep voice, "So, there is a high probability that Timmy's hometown will be destroyed by the leader. Then Timothy, is it possible to have animosity with the leader?" Hearing this, Frank Hefeng's expression became serious. Like Camilla, they were all adopted by Hyde during the war, and it was Hyde who gave them the chance to survive. Not only that, Hyde also transplanted Rare's Greer ore to them, so that they will have powerful power and become the best. They do not allow dangerous factors to appear around Hyde. But at this moment, Camilla asked again, "I didn't care about it before, where was the hometown of the two of you before?" Hearing this, Frank Hefeng gave the answer. Upon hearing this, Camilla combined with the location of her hometown and asked, "If I remember correctly, all 3 of our hometowns were invaded by pirates, and then Leader Hyde showed up to save us at critical moments, right?" Rank Hefeng nodded again. The latter didn't think too much and was not good at thinking too much, but Rank frowned and said, "Camilla, don't you mean to say that we are the same as Timothy?" "Don't be kidding, I don't believe it." Feng Wai immediately expressed his opinion, and glared at Camilla. "I'm not sure yet." Camilla shook her head and said, "I just think that the hometowns of the 3 of us and Timothy were wiped out by pirates, and we and Timothy are the only survivors. They were rescued by the leader of Hyde, and they all happened to have a very high talent for fusing Greer ore, so there was no rejection. So many coincidences, is it really just a coincidence?" Hearing this, Lan Ke began to think about it, but Feng Wai yelled directly, "We are not far from the fortress now, so we can go back and ask them face to face, so we can make it clear. If the leader really plots against me, I will kill him even if we die together. But if the leader didn't count, you should remember to apologize to me." This. Camilla hesitated for a while. At this time, she saw that the contents of the diary were updated again. Somewhere on the border between the land of wind and the land of fire, there is a grail vein. This Greer ore is a good thing. As long as you have the fusion talent, you can have the strength comparable to Jonin immediately after implantation, just like devil fruit. Not only that, the Greer ore can also be used as energy, whether it is to arrange an enchantment, or to motivate puppets and my mechanism beasts, it can be used. If you get the electromagnetic gun technology from the Kingdom of Thunder, you can also use it to activate weapons. At that time, a common person can control the weapons to emit cage-level power, or even surpass cage-level power. In addition, there are technologies, auxiliary training, etc. In short, the Greer ore can be regarded as a panacea. According to the geographical location, the country of wind and the country of fire are divided into half. At that time, I have to get it, and I can easily become the richest man in the ninja world, and it will be to the extent that one person can rival everyone. Well, Hyde actually dared to call the attention of the Greer lode. How about I use a huge Tensigan to control the tide of the sea and create a tsunami to wipe out Hyde's army? Camilla. Create a tsunami, destroy the group. No, we won't go back yet. Camilla said to Frank Hefeng, I think our current strength is still too weak. First go to the foreign continent to find mineral veins to improve our strength and influence, and then showdown with the leader. If I think too much, I will naturally apologize, but if it is as we guessed now, I must also pay the price. Hearing this, although Feng Wai was a little upset, he felt that it was okay for Camilla to make such a decision, so he just cursed. After pondering, Rank chose to support. Kill it directly, it is a bit wasteful. It is better to wait until they get close to the ninja continent and take action directly, and they can inherit Hyde's fortress and various methods and technologies used by Greer. It's not enough. It's too early to think about this. Strength is king. If you don't have enough strength, you can't stand it no matter how rich you are. It's just like a poultry in captivity. Let's improve your strength. Stop recording. Yuchen sat cross-legged in the moon temple, and then took out the star again in the diary. Possessing Otsutsuki constitution, he can feel the rich high-quality emperor chakra contained in the stars. Running the chakra refining technique, he felt that his body was absorbing water like a sponge, rapidly absorbing energy from the stars. This process lasted for 3 days. As a certain critical point was broken, Yuchen suddenly opened his eyes. At this time, his chakra transforms into Chatanla. His body is full of yang energy, and minor injuries can be healed instantly, and serious injuries can be quickly healed as long as the chakra is sufficient. Any attribute of chakra ninjutsu can be blessed to a terrifying degree in his hands. If it is wood style, with the blessing of Yang Bun, it can reach the level of Senju Hashirama. He discovered that he could feel the flow of natural chakra on his skin. If his perception is released, he will feel like a fish in water, and naturally chakra is water. If he knows Sage Mode, he should be able to open it in seconds and maintain it for a long time. But the acquired level Otsutsuki constitution has just been developed to the top level. For the star in his hand, he only refined 1/10 of its energy. If all of it is refined, the constitution can be improved a bit, and the chakra capacity, spiritual energy and physical energy can be developed again. But Yuchen didn't rush to practice, but took the reward from the diary again. Hinata rolls her eyes. But after the initial adaptation, he felt something was wrong. As this, Otsutsuki Hamura's chakra. How can there be such a thing in Hinata's eyes? Ku.